like.
Why?
And why is that?
He said it's not good. Not good.
Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, pretty much exactly like
Hey, Etta, I have to think for a second. Do you mind just keeping an eye on me?
Of course, darling.
Thank you.
Hello, chat.
So wait, is he coming or no?
We here. We here. Hello, Rain. It's almost time for the great debates. So, I'm sitting here with... Hi, Anna. She must be in her head. Just the PD debates. It's basically down to Ty and Lily Pond Bloom. So, everybody else has bowed out. So, Ty is who we have voted for. Ty is a friend. Since pretty much day one. Day one, day two. So, and Etta really hasn't even gotten to know Lily again, hasn't run into her at all, so...
Sean, can I sit on the fancy couch?
And she's heard nothing but bad things about Lily, so...
Yeah, Sloan decided to get a whole fucking couch to herself.
Okay, no, I'm sitting.
But we're sitting next to Scarlett Dubois, who is Theobrosia's character
Imagine if
here.
Sloan finally comes to sit down and there's like 4 other
So-
people sitting on her couch.
That'd be great.
Go figure that, you know...
That's where Anna's sitting.
Okay. Yeah, where Anna's sitting.
I'm sitting here. I don't care.
And then we've got Q and Sean. That's Anna Peta behind.
Hi, Mercy.
Hi, Sean. You look gorgeous.
Oh,
So
there's
yeah.
Mercy with Bryce.
Sean, I bet you're the Simon Cowell of that
Are they a
section.
thing?
Shut
I
the
don't
fuck
know.
up, Bryce.
Yep, that's fitting.
She actually said.
Get out of my chair. What are you doing? Get out of my couch.
Okay.
Get out me couch.
So that's Sloan standing up.
Is that why it was so comfortable?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Sean, you didn't want your throne from the vet clinic?
Trying to see who else is around.
Oh, it's okay.
I believe that James is on
Although,
patrol,
It's gonna piss me
so...
off that Sloan's fucking couch is not centered.
Okay, guys, we're gonna start shortly. If everyone wants to tweet out and tell everyone to get their asses here, that'd be great. We'll start in about 10 to 15 minutes. We're just waiting for more people to come, okay? Sounds great. Thank you.
Where's Lily? I don't even see her.
Sloan, your couch pisses me off. Because it's not centered with the 2 chairs.
Well, I'm not doing it.
Oh my god.
Don't make her move it.
It's not centered?
Don't make her move it. Don't move it.
It's not in the middle.
Just sit there.
Here, just scoot over, scoot over. Let me move it for him.
Oh my god, she's so really.
My OCD. Sorry. So sorry.
First you make me get you a new chair. Now you're making her move the couch.
Yes.
He's so...
Are you the reason I hate going to Cherno? Oh my god, Sloan, you're giving away money?
That's still not even in the middle.
Why is Bryce
Closer-
such a
it's more
shitter?
closer
He's
on
such a
Grizzly's side.
shitter.
Oh,
Sloan, can I have some money?
You want me to do it?
Can you have what? Money?
Some money.
I'm poor.
There's a twin that says you're giving away free money.
Who?
From Bryce. Sloan's giving away free money. Or giving away money at the Vinewood Bowl.
Bryce Miller.
Okay. Was that Jamie that just said something? Question mark?
This is probably gonna put the nail in the coffin between Etta and Lewis, but we'll see. Bryce.
Bryce?
No.
Mm.
No.
You're such a shithead.
I'm about to catch an assault and battery.
Oh shit!
I'm about to do
Do
it.
it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, dog. Don't do it.
I'm about to catch an assault.
Don't do
aggravated
it.
assault, whichever one, I beat the fuck out of whatever the charge that is.
Beat the fuck assault
That's assault and
charge.
battery. Yes.
Yup. I'm about to catch that.
Oh.
What happened to the last chief?
Um.
Excuse me. What happened to the last chief?
What the fuck? Casey got a beanbag chair. He's not even sitting in the beanbag chair.
Is he?
Where's Casey?
Sean.
Mm.
What
I was gonna
happened
say
to the
something,
last
but
chief?
it'll be a little
I
toxic.
need to know for my question.
Oh.
The last chief, he went to England.
Did he go to England? Yeah.
Yeah, he went. He went.
He just
to
left the
England.
job. Okay.
Well, he was never really here. He did a lot of kind of telecommunication, I guess. Like he was never really here to do the job. It was more the ass chief that would come around. as
Job
a-
abandonment.
Okay, thank you. That'll help with my
His
question.
brother.
I was gonna say something, but it would come across a little too spicy. So.
Come into the debate. Already, okay. You gonna be asking questions?
Who do we have here?
You and Quibbly have.
The
Right
hell?
there.
Oh, the FIB boys.
Yours.
Hey, there's Booba.
Is this the fucking voice or something?
Yeah.
Hi,
You
Oakley.
want X
I'm
Factor
the
now?
main judge. Me
That's
down here.
wild.
I'm the main judge.
But yeah, the kitty gloves are off.
Guys,
so if you can
we'll
do
be
it
starting the
a
debate
constructive
in
way
2
and
minutes.
whatever,
2 minutes.
fucking
We'll be starting in
Constructive.
2 minutes.
Well, I'll have to work on it. I'll have to work on it.
The
Silence
fucking
your phones.
shitter.
I don't want to hear your phones going off during the debate, please, and please respectful. Please be
Can't.
respectful to both candidates.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I'll do it.
Appreciate you
I'll ask
all.
their opinions
This
on
message
certain
is
things.
sponsored by.
We'll take the kitty gloves off.
Why does Sloan sound so sad? What the fuck?
Here's some other people kind of showing up.
Is that an ice machine back there? Why they got an ice machine in the back?
Oh, is that my boy Ethan?
Hey, back there?
Yeah.
Behind the white fencing on the stage?
See that?
Oh yeah,
Where's
it
my
is.
king at?
Over up front.
Why is that there? Why
Tell him to come to
your
I love him.
Great
Tell him to come
question.
sit on Sloane's couch.
It's just
For
the face of it.
Straight,
Oh,
right.
so there's no
right,
ice in it?
Right.
No,
Continue
there's
coming
no.
right.
The other
You don't
three
s-
sides
right
of it
now
are
this
not
sad,
there.
Ethan. You're going
couches.
straight.
So for those who don't know, the blonde right there with the binoculars, that's Oakley Knox. That's Harper. That's Sam's other character. So
Wonder if it's,
the one who
something
plays
we
our
use in the
daughter
movie.
Harper,
No, he should get a red
that's
chair.
her FIB Skip Tracer, I think is what they call them, bounty hunter character. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about. Sloan's just gonna have to deal with him.
In this
Yeah, it's
beanbag?
pissing me off.
Because I'm gonna throw this beanbag in the fucking street if he doesn't sit in it.
Maybe they
Casey.
start
Now
off
he's
the
in
debate
bag,
by
now he's not even
grabbing a
sitting
bag
in
or
it.
two and breaking it open.
Icebreaker.
Shitter.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Some lights
I
up
would
there
sit in
so
the
that the candidates can have like some blue light shining on them because if it gets dark,
Yeah.
sure to get some blue light because of LSPD. Look at that. Look at me.
Great.
Aesthetics. Hashtag aesthetics.
Okay, everybody. My name is Sloan Morgan. Thank you guys so
wasn't
much for coming out for
aesthetic.
the to the chief
Sloan
of
set
police
this up, and then
debate
I
today.
added
I just
some
want to thank
finishing
everyone for
touches.
coming out. We're going to be starting now. I'm going to be announcing Sean Dean, our Lieutenant Governor of this beautiful state. This message is sponsored by Jeb Fuel and Bloom's Burgers. Thank you. Sean, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Woohoo!
Crystal
All right,
clear.
Slayer.
This event is sponsored by.
Okay, so today we have
Yes,
the
yeah.
public debate between the two candidates, Lily Pond Bloom and Ty Slaughter. They are both running for chief of police. Now, like many of us know, obviously, the chief of police election is happening as of right now. You have multiple different places that you can go to vote. You City Hall in the city. You can go to the Polito City Hall. You can go to the Grape Seed Sheriff's Department. That one might be a little iffy. You might want to announce yourself before you go there, because I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's in the actual. Anyways, and you could also go to Sandy Medical. Voting ends on this Friday at 3 p.m. EST. As for today's debate, if you have any sort of questions for each of our candidates, I am sitting in this red chair. Now I am standing next to Surgeon General Hayabusa, Vet Director Anna Pita, and our wonderful DOC Warden. You will see there are valet ropes behind them. If you have any questions for these candidates, please up right there to basically come to the microphone over here to ask your questions. This is obviously going to be probably a little bit of a lengthy one, but that's fine. And this is a message obviously for the candidates as well. You will have 2 to 3 minutes to answer each question. You may rebut, but I am going to make myself explicitly clear. There will be no interrupting. That is not going to get us anywhere. And dear God, I do not want to be here all fucking night. So please, for the love of God, do not interrupt. Without further ado, let's get the candidates out on stage.
Go talk to Katie real fast. Oh my God.
Clap. I don't know what's.
Yeah.
I need to fix something.
All right. If you guys have anything you want to say before we start, feel free.
On everybody, Ty Slaughter of Davis Police Department, LSPD. Multiple years experience running, but I look forward to this debate and answering everyone's questions.
And I'm Lieutenant Lily Pond Bloom, running for stability, building a better foundation, accountability, and growth for the LSPD and the community in the city around it.
All right, amazing. Well, we obviously have some people that have lined up behind us, so if you want to take it away, Bryce, go ahead and ask your questions.
How's it going? Bryce Miller, CEO of Miller
Mike's
Media.
not on, Bryce. I can't.
Well, that kind of seems like a Sean problem. Hello? Hello? Is this good?
Still very quiet.
Mic's not working.
Sean, the mic's not working.
Sean?
Bitch.
It's not working.
Shine, the mic's
Sean,
not
the mic's not
working.
working.
Sean, the mic's not working.
Just swear to God. Pick it up, Bryce.
What do you want me to do about it?
He's
Pick up the mic.
The mic?
Not holding the mic.
I've mic'd up to my mouth, Sean. It's not working. Did you set this up?
Do you want me to take a look at it? It might just
No,
be
I did not set this up.
I'm laughing. Hold on.
Okay. You know what? It's fine.
I didn't
I'll
set
take
that
it.
up.
Can you take a peek at it?
I'll
Take a look
I'll
at
take a
it?
look
Oh,
at
the
it.
cable-
Aren't you the
I'll take a
media
look.
guy?
The cable's unplugged at the
Damn
bottom there.
Should have got someone to do a
Oh.
sound check.
Classic Sloan.
It's not me.
Classic Sloan.
I see.
It's
I see.
a
I see
Sean.
the issue.
The cable.
It was the cable.
Yeah, it's always the cable.
Always the
Innie
cable.
was the Audi.
It's like a USB. You think you got it, and then you got to flip it over again.
So true.
Thank God we have Bryce Miller, engineer extraordinaire
Hello?
here.
Local
good
microphone
now?
guy, Bryce Miller. Let's go.
Are we good now?
I feel like you're still not talking to a microphone.
What the fuck?
I may have to retract everything I just said.
Can I
Are
steal
you-
one of your guys' mics? Maybe it's a me thing.
Let's see. Hopefully that
Here,
works.
scooch.
Try the one on my chair here.
I'm gonna take
Why not
Sean's. Scooch over,
The
Sean. Hold on.
beanbag is in the way.
Okay.
Maybe the beanbag is interfering with the microphone.
What?
Thanks, Sean.
Beanbag's gonna go.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's Grimace.
Thanks,
Grimace is going.
Oh my god, you killed
Sean. Oh, sorry, Sean. I can't.
I've
always
taken
call him.
Grimace to his water.
Can you?
Grimace shake is gone again.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me now? You hear me now?
I heard you for like 1 second, and then I didn't.
Right.
That's why you like this.
It might be a Bryce problem.
Q, is that one working?
Is it now? Am I good now?
Is it a you issue?
Bryce, I think
Harry,
this is a
thank you for
issue.
the follow. Welcome, welcome.
Here, I'm just gonna say it to Sean, and Sean can ask my question for me.
Okay, hold
Does
on.
this microphone work?
He's gonna ask
Hey,
me. He's
can you
gonna
guys
say the
hear me on
question.
stage?
I'll just say it.
You guys hear me on stage?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, so it's a Bryce. It's a Bryce.
Literally a Bryce issue.
It's you issue.
Skill issue.
Someone ask
What's,
my question.
yeah, what's your question?
Someone asked Bryce a question.
Don't ask
Who
it.
would win in a fight? A taco or a grilled cheese?
Okay. Bryce's question is who would win in a fight, a taco or a grilled cheese?
Oh, a taco all day.
It depends if it's a crunchy taco or if it's a soft taco. Because I feel if it's crunchy, it's gonna lose. But if it's soft, I think it'd win. I'm also on the side of grilled cheeses, personally.
He wants to know why, Ty, why do you think a taco all day?
Yeah, because I just feel like there's no meat, there's no beef inside the grilled cheese. So how could they win, you know?
Be.
I know who I'm
I'm a
voting for.
vegetarian and I am
Thanks,
fucking
guys.
scared of beef. So grilled cheese all day.
Scared of beef. Doesn't that mean you don't eat
Grilled
it,
beef.
though? I don't.
I hate cheese.
Vegetarian, so vegetarian burger.
Okay, thank you so much, Bryce, for your questions.
I'm a fan of meat, so
Is that you?
Ty wins my vote.
Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
I hope this works for. Oh,
Oh, it's literally just a Bryce issue.
it's a Bryce issue. I'm sorry to come in with a hard question directly after a fun one, but how will future incidents of behavior like Leon Jericho's be addressed? Will holding officers accountable be a top priority when they act inappropriately?
Yes.
This is
Go
go
on.
ahead and go. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, no, officers being held accountable already does happen and will continue to happen. I believe that what he did was professional. I think it was unbecoming of an officer of any rank. And I don't think that's okay.
The Leon situation was both handled internally within the PD by two independent people who then shared their entire thing with the rest of command, as well as handled externally. So there were two sets of accountability and two sets of punishment, which if something like that ever happens again in the future, which I'm hoping with further training and further stability in our command structure should not, as I plan to do, you know, there will be accountability and safeguarding for that kind of thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hello. My question is for Ty Slaughter. Is it true that you slept with Bloom's sister and didn't call her back?
First part is true. The second part is not true. I did call her back.
Can you expound on that?
Yeah, I told her we should hang out again sometime, and she should come over. And she said she would. Because I saw her a few days later at the hospital.
And my follow-up question is, what do you think are some of the shortcomings of the DA's office?
Anyone's perfect. Includes the DA's office. I think mistakes happen to be made, and they got to hold themselves accountable. I have good relations with Sparks, as well as the majority of the DA's office. I work with them. But again, you know, nobody is perfect. Nobody here is going to be perfect. People are going to make mistakes, and I feel like it's how you go about it afterwards that matters. And that's not just an apology, but holding yourself accountable and having other people hold you accountable.
Question also for me, or is it also just for Ty? Just to clarify.
That was also for you, Lily.
Okay. So, speaking with the DA's office and having an understanding between them has been something I've been working on. Like Ty said, everyone's human. Everyone's not perfect. The same thing happens in the PD, happens in multiple things. Communication is one of the hardest things to fix. Never be fixed, if I'm going to be honest, and be transparent. But what we can do is we can at least work on improving the line of communication and working on the ease of that, which we have been doing. We've been setting up ways between the DA's office and the PD to have more communication by setting up like channels, by setting up liaisons, and trying to improve it. Obviously there have been issues at the DA's office, but there's also been issues in other places as well. And all we can do is review those and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And my final question is for Miss Pond. Is Bloom bad?
As ruled by a judge and on his profile, yes, Bloom bad.
Thank you. No further questions.
Bloom bad.
Hello.
What's going on, boss?
I was wondering if you guys had like plans to like fix the relationship between the PD and MIB. As funny as it is to like watch you guys like arrest each other over like radio channels, and I think it might be a little bit of a waste of resources having like bench trials over and over because you guys are just being petty all day to each other. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that it is petty. I agree that things have been pushed across the line, and that when it goes past banter and gets to be problematic, it's a problem. I've had good relations with the FIB since working with the PD. Strong Rock and I have worked very closely on many things, projects, joint operations, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he called me yesterday about possibly setting something up between the PD and the FIB going forward. I don't like to see it. I don't like to see the PD have any kind of bad relations with any other government faction or the public or even people on the other side of the law. I feel like respect goes a long way, and to earn it, you have to show it and give it.
Yeah, PD relations between multiple government factions, including the FIB, has been a big priority of mine. We actually do a monthly check-in with our officers, which I then started to extend to the government factions and their leaders. One of those being the FIB, and me and Stronger had a extremely long conversation where we tried to come to middle grounds and also exchange understandings of how each other's department works. I needed a better understanding of how FIB worked. He needed a better understanding how PD worked, so we could then work on our synergy. We are, at the end of the day, all out there for the same reason, and that is for the justice, but also the protection of the state. So inherently, we need to be able to work together. So yeah, that's I don't, my husband, sure, had his issues, but I'm not my husband. I am committed to improving communications and making sure that the relations do not sour and continue building with what we have.
Yeah, you did sit there during the bench trial, though, and agree with him on everything.
Why do people keep pushing?
First off, is this thing on?
Ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Question for both Ty and Lily up there. Would you guys like what is
That
your
shit
guys'
pisses me off
stance
when people
on
just push
potential
me around.
arrests and suspects with
It's like
pre-existing
there's
medical
plenty of
conditions
space.
listed on their medical records, and would that factor into the treatment of said criminal / suspect?
Well, I'd say this is a tricky one. We don't have, as officers, access to their medical records. But of course, if you know, someone has explained to us that, you know, maybe they have some kind of issue with their wrists or their arms or anything like that. Obviously, exceptions can be made unless they become violent. Of course, then they'd have to continue being restrained. But I mean, personally, on scenes all the time, you know, I've oftentimes, if people are coming out of the hospital or anything like that, paying attention, they might do something suspect. I have asked people before if they have any heart conditions or anything like that before they possibly are constantly getting tackled or tased or anything like that. But we still have a job to do at the end of the day, and they also have the option to be compliant. So
Beg anybody who does have a medical condition, especially if it's one that's unseen and not physically present, to please wear a medical bracelet. It helps us immensely, especially when it comes to scene with things like first aid, etc. Because as someone who is first aid trained, it is one of the first things that I look for. We do not have access to your medical records. It's none of our business for that. But if there's something like, you know, you might have something that has like a blood thinning condition, or even some kind of, you know, anything that you think we would need to know that comes to an arrest. Like Ty said, I completely agree. There is a limit to that cooperation. You know, if you're using it, you know, if you are being violent or non-compliant, we will, and there is limits to what we can do. We have to be able to move you. And we will try and do that in the most safest way possible. You know,
Very
and
much
de-escalate
so.
anything from there, especially not to cause any other further injury or to aggravate any conditions. There has to be a level of compliance and understanding that comes back towards us. And I have a duty to also keep my officers safe as well, and the community around.
Understood. Thank you.
Hey, is this thing working?
God.
Yep,
Oh.
sure is.
Ow.
Hey, how you doing? Stacy Rookie, you know, former convict. Just two questions. Kind of one, you know, about the police, and then one about, you know, the city. First question is going to be, man, you know, a lot of trash cars around town. It kind of makes Los Santos look dumpy, man. When are you going to have the, you know, officers, you know, work on getting them impounded and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Constantly checking in anytime I'm patrolling around, not responding anything if I see vehicles that are littered in places, not just parked illegally, but possibly obstructing traffic, or could cause be a cause for concern or a hazard. I am the first person to call tow truck drivers. I have very good relations with a lot of them.
Tow truck drivers are really great. I've actually been working. We have officers who really enjoy parking enforcement and also, you know, doing kind of that part and cleaning up traffic, etc. So I made sure to help them get what we call a pigeon. It's like a little vehicle that they can use for parking enforcement and traffic enforcement. So they can now use that to kind of go around. So if you see those, that's what they're doing. And yeah, tow truck drivers will happily call them to let them know if there's any vehicles that need towing. I don't think there's an officer who hasn't. If there's anything in the middle of the road or it's blocking anything or any kind of illegal vehicle, we will call tow in for it happily. Please make sure that if you are a tower, that your number is in the directory, because otherwise we cannot contact you. So please, we beg of you to do that.
All right, that was the first question. Last question for you. This is the big one for me. You know, I've had a couple interactions with some of the newer, you know, officers on the force, man. How do you feel the training regimen is with them, and what can we do to improve and grow on them, man? Because, you know, it feels like once you give them a gun and a beat stick, man, you know, they just want to, you know, get all balls out, man, and just go to town, man. You know, I've had a couple situations where, you know, I've been in the riot and like I didn't do anything, but, you know, it's kind of wrongfully accused, and I'm just trying to, you know, figure out, you know, how those conversations go with those individuals, man, because, you know, I try to de-escalate, but, you know, sometimes, you know, I get y'all have a tough job. I really do. But at the same time, man, you know, it's here about protecting and serving, man, you know, having that conversation. How do we get them recruits to, you know, get a little bit better on that, man?
Yeah, I mean, perfect, and that includes the process in which we bring people in. We're always trying to improve. Plans going forward to possibly help with PNT, but I'll tell you, people who get brought in the force, a lot of people are green. And they do make mistakes, and I don't think that's okay, especially when it comes to the public. We're here to serve you guys. We're here to be here for you guys, be the shield for you guys. So I don't agree with that at all. I think holding people accountable. I think reminding people, officers, not just new officers, but a lot of times even the experienced and tenured officers, that we are here to be for you guys. We are here for you guys, to protect you guys, to be around you guys, to make sure nothing's happening, to respond to calls, and that you guys are people too, and sometimes officers forget that. And I'll be the first person to say that. Oftentimes I see officers forget that, and I'm always having conversations with people about that. I don't think that's okay, and I think that we can always be improving on things, and especially when it comes to bringing some of this new blood in. And I apologize for anything that has happened to you previous with any of these incidents.
Yeah. When it comes to dealing with the public or dealing with people, it is an acquired skill. A lot of the times when we're training, we very much focus on, the making sure people can actually, our officers are abiding by the law, they're enforcing it correctly, everything else. Obviously, I'm not going to speak fully for the FTO program. I do not run it. Yes, I'm an FTO myself, but that is run by other people, and I'm not here to step on their toes. I think they've done an amazing job bringing in the cadets that we have. We have multiple ways to come in as a cadet and multiple skill levels to assess that, which helps us then focus on those who might need a bit more help. We have a whole system of signing people off on certain things and taking, and making sure that training is there for them. But we also appreciate your guys' feedback, especially if there has been an incident with somebody. We do like to know. Sadly, we cannot be around all the time. No one can
Which
be
is
around all the time.
ironic considering all of the incidents that she has had with people.
We get it reported back to us, we might never know about
How
it.
she brags about
And I do
W's
promise
on
you that
Twinsta.
does go through to the FTOs who train these people, and they are given feedback from us and from the FTOs as well, because we always want to be teaching people and expanding their knowledge and helping people understand how how people should be spoken to, but also treated. We're all human at the end of the day, and we should be treated as such no matter what.
Thank you.
Hello.
Oh.
All right, I got 2 questions.
Interesting.
First one is, in a time of rising violence and robberies at the hospital, how will you as chief help curb some of these incidents so doctors feel safer to come to work?
I mean, ramping up patrol in that area, having officer presence there. We have a good program in the FTO program where people have to do auxiliary hours, helping, which will, maybe prioritizing having these cadets that are doing their auxiliary hours at the hospital could be good. I have good relations with the Surgeon General, Quimbley, and I'm in constant contact with her about, things that are going on and any help they can need. I've often offered myself, as well as spoke with other officers who were willing to stay there and be security when there was possible threats happening. And I think continuing to have those lines of communication and continuing to be there for a fellow government faction is crucial and honestly necessary. I think you guys provide and do something that is life-saving, literally, and you guys can't do that if you're having your lives threatened, and that's not okay at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I already stated before, I've been, making sure to reach out to the government leaders. That includes EMS and the doctors, to have conversations with them and see what we can do to improve relations. But also, I want to keep you guys safe. Even today, we had a situation and people responded extremely quickly, and the whole situation was wrapped up, and we apprehended people. We want to keep doing that. You guys safe. If that means upping patrols in the areas, then we will happily do that. And I will make sure that's a top priority in getting that done and keeping you guys safe. Especially with things like we obviously have Vinewood Police Department, which does technically cover that area, as well as a couple of other places. So definitely getting them to focus on that would be a good thing. Maybe even seeing if we could have some, of our cadets who do auxiliary hours, for example, maybe even go to the hospital and do security there and not just at the DMV and other places to help up their presence. Officer presence is the first thing that we think about when we come to escalation of force. So we should definitely be having people in the area. And, I'm committed to upping that patrol and improving that safety.
Okay. Another question I have is, how will you train officers to better deal with stressful situations? Just for example, a court case doesn't go their way.
Yeah, look at it. I'm not gonna lie, an officer's full day. We do a lot of hours. We're out there, but there is no excuse for being unprofessional to the public, and the public includes, civilians, people on the other side of the law, as well as other government factions. There's no excuse for behaving like that, acting like that, and people being held accountable for those actions is a big thing. how we are viewed to the public matters. They should be able to trust us. They should be able to believe that they can have a conversation with us safely. So if people's conduct is questionable in the public eye, I have a very big problem with that. And as chief, I would not stand for that at all.
For me, my officers at the end of the day are human. Everyone has emotions. Everyone deals with those emotions differently. There is a difference between having an opinion, because I want my officers to not be robots. At the end of the day, we're not soldiers. We're not here that. We are people. We all have different styles of policing, etc. But when it comes to being responsible and professional, I can admit myself that I've had moments where I have not been professional in court and other places due to, having those issues. But have I, gone and spoken to people afterwards and had conversations with them? Yes. Because it's about accountability and talking with those people when you do make a mistake. And that's what I would expect. So if there is an officer who does, act unbecoming and unprofessional, then I would expect them to take accountability and admit that and be able to go have an adult and professional conversation with that party, whether they be civilian or government or whoever.
Crazy.
Figure it out.
That's crazy
If they
she says that,
can't
'cause she
do
never
that, then
apologized
that's an
for,
issue and not something that I'm going to
disrespecting the
stand
death
for.
of my late husband in a courtroom. And it's been how many months?
Hola.
Howdy, Mr. Escobar.
I am Pablo Escobar. I just have a quick question for you both. How are you different from the past chief, and what implementations can citizens expect to see once you're elected?
See, it's hard to say about the last chief because I don't believe I've actually ever met him, being real. But I can tell you about some stuff implementing going forward. Within the PD, one thing the PD needs is accountability, and part of that is people being held accountable, not just for their actions to the public, but also within the PD. I plan on working with everyone and giving everyone the responsibilities of their rank and how they should be acting and conducting themselves within the PD and to the public. I also be working on a system where people of specific ranks, which is something I've already been doing and working with Davis people, is reaching out to the public, not just to people in specific areas or other government factions, but also reaching out and checking in on and supporting local businesses. Backbone, I mean, a lot of these food places, if we didn't have them and people weren't working there, we'd starve to death, right? So I think it's important to constantly check in on them, make sure they're doing good, and support them. Another thing is harp on getting officers, which goes sort of hand in hand with the last thing, getting officers back to the basics. Presence is the big thing, and we're there to serve the public. I want people to be there for you guys, all of you. I don't care who you are. Whether you wear a badge or you're part of a medical group or you're just a civilian working at a business or even I hate to say it, on the other side of the law, you're all people at the end of the day, and you should be treated as such. You're human just like us, and people should be able to have conversations.
Yeah, well, we haven't really even had a chief of police, but the LSPD has
That's
been
crazy.
formed since around
That's crazy.
the 15th of December. LSPD was formed. When
To
I
make
was
comments
first.
like that when her character
I have only ever met the assistant
routinely,
chief, never the chief. He's
like,
been
y'all
either
just heard
busy in his
Q.
office or had to go do things.
She has been a snarky
which is
dickhead
why,
on
part
numerous
of the reason that
occasions,
I, requested that a chief election even happen.
bragging about W's on Twinsta and being disrespectful,
High command who actually care for it, because then that
being
trickles down
snarky,
the ranks,
and it's like,
then
that's not
trickles
having
into
an
community
opinion, that's just
itself.
being a
If you
fucking
have
prick.
a command who is accountable, a command who is strong,
And
a
people
command
aren't
who is
letting it go.
confident and there for their officers, that command, like I have with
And I'm
myself,
hearing a lot of
Lana, and
excuses
Jeff,
for people having,
will then affect
those
the officers below
outbursts.
it. Everyone always hears that,
Whereas
the
Ty
top
is
is where it
like,
starts,
no,
and
that
I
shit shouldn't be
completely agree.
happening.
Because we can then be the role
And it
model,
shouldn't.
but also be the people to hold other people accountable.
Yes,
and
cops
that
are
benefits
human
the
beings, but they are also held to a higher standard as law enforcement officers, and there should be a level of professionalism, tact. You can voice an opinion and you can deal with a motherfucker
So that
and
is what
still
I would do
have
different
tact
than the chief that
without
we currently
going
have.
to their level. You know what I mean? Oh, Quimbly about to. Oh no! Oh shit.
You gotta use the
So
mic,
it's
sir.
like, I hear.
There we go. Hello. My name's Adam Pierce. I'm just wondering, what are the current challenges you think the department faces, and how are you planning on addressing them?
Yeah, there's a decent amount of problems, both within and from an outside perspective and external perspective within the PD. I think people, again, I spoke about a lot. People need to be held accountable. I don't think there's people who know exactly what their rank entails and are doing that within the PD, and I think that affects their performance not just within the PD, but also affects how they treat and respond to things outside of the PD to the public. And again, we're here for you guys, so that's not okay. I know another thing is people constantly feeling like they're being disrespected or their rights are being violated, and I don't agree with that. I don't think we currently have anyone holding people responsible for when that stuff happens. Sure, you guys can take them to court and fight them civilly, but I mean, let's be honest with you. You get a bit of money, but then what happens? The officers are still going to be continually doing that, right? I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think these officers who are doing this, no matter what their rank are, need to be held accountable for their actions, whether it's disrespecting someone in the public or being too rough with someone or violating someone's rights. I don't think it's okay, and I think people need to be held accountable for that.
I think our biggest challenges right now, the community relations. I wanna, and I already have been working to improve that. You know, that's what Vice
Just
Police Department
from-
is. It's people who go out there and go out there for the community.
From the
I've been
stuff
trying to get
that,
that up
like,
and running and make that more
Winston
stable, which
has
been
told
great,
Etta,
especially with the Mirror Park area. But I
a
want
lot of the cops, like even her friend
and
Sloan,
encompassing community relations
has
a
done
big
some
feedback that
really
I've got from
fucking
people when I've
ratchet
spoken
shit.
to them and what I've got from other officers when they've told me is that the community feels like when they put a complaint in, they do
And-
not get feedback, and that is an issue. You deserve to know a conclusion. Now, am I going to sit there and tell you every single thing that happened to the officer with an internal punishment? No. But am I going to use our admin team and our dispatch team to then make sure you guys are communicated? Who are the officers who dealt with that issue? And was there any kind of resolution? So you deserve closure. So yes, that is something that I am committed to doing and already have plans in place to do that. I think our other major issue right now for the LSPD is keeping people hate, and everyone hates the word, but it's keeping them motivated. You've got to find creative solutions. Sometimes the city is quiet, and that's a good thing. It means crime isn't happening. That's great. But we have to find creative solutions to
It's not great,
continue,
though.
you know, keeping those people coming around.
mean,
and keeping them coming on duty. Whether
yes,
that
you
is
want-
things like doing training.
You want to
Because that
respond
inherently
to
just then
crime,
increases patrol.
but
or even
in this server, you don't want to annihilate crime. You don't want to get it to the point where people don't want to do crime, because then the cops aren't going to have shit to do and they're going to get bored.
As well.
There has to be a balance, you know? People enjoy the chases, you know? They enjoy the foot veils, you know? They enjoy the bits. You can't just sit there and squash all of it right away.
Foam noodles here. I'm just wondering if I feel like it's more friendly towards the community. Like the batons have been hurting people recently.
Agree that Noodle would be more friendly and probably have a comedic relief to it that everyone would enjoy. But unfortunately, baton should only be used when someone has been physical towards another person or officer.
Exactly.
I mean, if there have been incidents,
and that's
where,
just
I'm sure
like
there
that.
where
That's
people have
when
been
that's when
overusing
the
batons or just using
conversations
them
about
aggressively to
like.
begin with, I think people should be held
I know
accountable for those
people roll
actions.
their
That is
eyes
not
when they
okay.
hear server health, but
Batons
like
can
that's
absolutely
that
hurt
really
someone, and if
delicate
pushed too
balance
far, someone
that
can end up in
a lot of
ICU or
servers
serious
struggle
injury.
with,
So
because
that's not okay at all. I don't agree with that. But
you have
I do
to.
not
There
believe
has
that
to be give and
they can
take.
be replaced with noodles.
Yeah, batons are not going to be replaced with noodles, but what we can do is make sure people are following the escalation of force, going through officer presence, verbalization, tackling, everything like that, before escalating to using a baton. If an officer is using a baton, they're, you know, 90% of the time, if not more, is going to be an accurate reason. We still need to curb that, you know, small 1% where there isn't a good reason for that to happen. Unfortunately, being transparent, there will always be people who slip through the cracks and you know, make mistakes. But all we can do is correct those people either by actually having accountability in either demotions, firings, suspensions, anything like that, or even retraining. Sometimes education is the better response than just, you know, demoting them with nothing else. There has to be a follow-through plan with these, with, you know, with that.
Oh, there she is.
Thank you so much.
I thought she had a headache.
I love a good noodle. Was my mic on? Oop.
Good job, bud.
Let's rock.
I don't hear him
Why do
properly.
the police exist?
I don't hear you. I'm so sorry.
And hold on.
Quiet.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
No problem, Bryce. No problem.
But you're not using the microphone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody, I think this last guy broke it. Hello? Hello?
Oh, I had him for 2 seconds then.
Last person take
Damn
the
it.
mic with them.
Hello? Hey, did you steal the microphone?
No, I didn't steal it.
Come back up here for a second and just,
Are they yelling?
Oh.
Oh.
Hello? Can you hear me?
She hates me.
Get back up and tighten it back in there for me.
Who is this? Is that Mac?
Is that better?
No.
Okay. Tori, can you use the...
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
What's your question? FIB director or FIB agent Strongrock wants to know, why does the police exist?
It exists to serve the public, to protect the public, to be there for the public, to reach out to the public. Presence is a massive thing. We are not just there to arrest people. We are not there to violate people's rights or push the boundaries on people, make them an example in court. We're not there to pump people. We're not there to do any of that. We're there to be there. We're there for the people and the public. We're there to reach out. Like, for instance, I constantly am making checks with businesses. I was just at Bean Machine recently having a conversation with a lot of them. I'm going to be having a meet and greet tomorrow. I constantly go and check on all the other businesses as well, from Up and Down to HBTU to Dean's World, to anything at the Del Perro Plaza, to a lot of the food trucks. I'm constantly going around and switching, having conversations with people, checking on people, making sure they're okay. I mean, a simple conversation of just how are you doing or how have you been goes a long way. We're not there to just make arrests on people. We're there to be there for people, to make sure people are okay and to protect people when stuff is happening.
Yeah, as someone who wants to be the chief of the LSPD, I'm gonna be there for my officers.
See, like that tone?
These exist.
That's not.
To make sure that people who are
You shouldn't do
committing
that
crimes
during
are held accountable and are charged appropriately.
during debates.
And they do that by working with
Your
other
tone is
factions,
very
such
important.
As the DA's office, such as the FIB, etc., to get that done. Also there to protect the community and protect the civilians, whether that be through physical presence, making sure they take their statements, give them feedback, improving accountability within the PD itself to then protect them, and making sure the areas where there is either
I
heightened
guess Scarlett
crime
had to leave.
or
Sag.
areas of certain crimes, then have things like certain tactical teams to go deal with those, initiatives to go deal with those. The police is there, you know, for protection in so many different ways, as I've explained.
Can you hear me again? Can you hear me now?
I actually can.
Yeah.
One more question. What does the FIB even do?
It's a lot. They have multiple different. You guys have the analysts, the agents. You also have the skip tracers. The skip tracers are there to act like bounty hunters to collect on overdue fines. I know the FIB has looked into people. They have done things like civil asset forfeiture. You guys have worked a lot with certain people in the PD on joint operations. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what all the analysts do, other than what their name, what their title entail, or I guess explains. But I know that you mentioned some of them are working towards being agents as well.
Yeah, Stronglock, you and I actually had an entire conversation about this because the PD had the exact same question of what do FIB even do? And that was a big issue for me. I did not like that that was the attitude that people had. So I came to you and we had that entire discussion about what does the FIB do to clarify and help understand better transparency. To go through that. But everything Ty said is completely correct. That is what the FIB does. And we want to, you know, make sure they can continue doing that. And put together to improve that, you know, to be able to do that job.
What was the first question? I didn't hear it.
I'm gonna ask one of them. Which one of you is a better choice?
Okay.
Or like, why are you a better choice than the other candidate? And then they'll start arguing, and then they'll start shooting.
Good answers, I think. I got a two-part question for you guys. I'm gonna give you the first part first. You feel, this is for both of you, you feel is the biggest problem plaguing the LSPD? You plan to address it?
Hard to say that there's just one big issue plaguing the LSPD, but I think someone being there at the top, which is why we're having this election, to spearhead it, set the tone, set the culture, and bring camaraderie, as well as be there to speak to the public, be there to speak to the other government factions and businesses and everything out there in the public would be massive. I believe that somebody being there at the top who knows what they're doing and has the confidence and the rapport with the public and other government factions would go down the chain, and those people, that person have putting people in place to hold everyone else accountable and make sure that they are also doing the same within reason, within their rank, would it would just trickle down and trickle out to the public. The reason why we are where we are right now having a chief election is because we did not have or do not have someone that is doing that, and unfortunately the people who are actively at the top
having the gaps
have
in
done their
command
best with what
are
little guidance, if any guidance they've had, but
it's
maybe have
incredibly
fallen short, and
problematic.
so we are here today.
That's one thing I have
For
always
me, the biggest
disliked
issue, is
in
not
any
having
server
that top,
is when somebody
command,
takes a
which is
position
exactly
and then
why I
fucks
wanted the
off.
chief of police election to happen.
If
It's
you
why
aren't
also
willing
encompassed
to
in that,
dedicate
not
the
having people at the
time
top means we've had stagnated movement
to that
stagnated flow,
position, then
which
give
is
it to somebody
exactly
else.
why that I am running
Because
with not just myself, but also with
the server
Jeff
has to
Jefferson
keep going,
and Lana
right?
Quinn,
The
because
city
I want
has
to
to
be able
keep
hit
going.
the ground running.
It's a
And fix the issues day
24/7
one
living,
and get it
breathing
going, and,
thing.
and not just, you know, and have to wait. We've waited
And
long enough. The
having
LSPD and this
people
city deserves a
who
chief
are like,
is
oh,
ready to
well,
go day
it's
one
not a
out
real
the
job,
gate.
it's just a
And
game.
Exactly what I want to start
Well,
fixing.
we're role-playing it as it's
get
a
captains in
real
place,
job.
and then we're
It is
moving
a
to, you know,
real
getting those captains
thing, you know,
comfortable,
like
within a pretty short time period.
people
We already have
depend
people who are ready to
on,
go into those
you know,
captains'
people
positions,
filling
and they
those
have been deserving of
positions
such for a long
and
time.
being
Get
there
people
and
who are then deserving
dedicating
to be
the
in
time
current
like
positions
they
and
do.
etc.
And if you're
I
not
wanna
willing to
hit that
do
going,
that,
because
then
inherently
okay, we
that will have an
appreciate your
amazing
time.
effect
Thank
back
you
on the
for that.
community,
And then
because you're gonna
now
have a
move
better
aside and let
LSPD,
somebody
a
else have that
stable one,
position.
and one who's
You know,
ready to
yes,
hold,
life
you know,
happens,
each other
shit
with
happens,
training
things
and
come up, that's
accountability.
fine. Nobody wants to step on people's toes, but at the
Second
same
part to the
time,
same question.
the show must go on,
Stopping either
so
of
to
you
speak.
currently from doing any
So,
of these things.
allowing somebody to just hold a position, but who was never really there,
Sorry, you want to go first? You can go first.
Yeah.
it
So
puts
as a
immense
lieutenant, that's been a
pressure
big
on
thing
the
I've been hearing.
people
You know,
underneath
tell me, oh, you're lieutenant.
who
Why haven't you been doing stuff? I have
do
to.
what they can,
I have promoted people,
but have their hands
I
tied,
have, you know, brought in departments,
and that just
obviously, I'm not gonna sit
burdens
here
and
and
burns
claim
out
that
the
I
people
made these
that are trying to
certifications
make
or
it
made
work.
these departments, because that's inherently
So,
stupid, and it takes
and
away
then it
from the
just becomes
amazingly
this
hard
vicious
work and
cycle where
dedication that
people are
those people, for
constantly
example, Ty,
being
for
fed
example,
into
Tori,
this
you know,
meat
people who put
grinder,
those works into,
basically,
you know, recent
where
certifications
they
or
go
departments.
in,
I'm never
they
gonna
get
take it away from those
overloaded with work
individually.
because there's not enough
But was I
people,
there at
because
the top
everybody's
when,
fucking burned
you know,
out.
High Command and everyone else
New
wasn't,
blood
and
comes
making
in,
sure
the
things
burnt out
had
blood is
movement
like,
and
oh,
had
see ya, I'm
conversations with
taking a
people,
break.
people came and said,
and then they
certifications
get
aren't
the
getting
new
enough
people
movement.
come in
Okay, I
and
went
get
and had
overburdened,
conversations with those
and it's
people,
just
and
this
now those
vicious
are getting
cycle that
movement.
keeps
People
happening
said things
over and
weren't
over and
happening
over
with,
again. If
rank
people
changes.
come in
Okay, I promoted people. I've been
and they're
moving
like,
people up. I've
okay,
also had conversations
we're
where everyone's
here
had
to
demote
dedicate
people
the
or have.
time to do the thing, whatever,
So,
whatever.
but these aren't
If
things that I
somebody's like,
actively go
hey,
out there
I
and
got shit come up,
advertise,
you know, I need to go on an
say to the
LOA,
community and other people about,
put
because I'm a
somebody in
very
that
big
position.
believer
Don't
of
just
punish in
disappear
private, praise in
and be like,
public.
oh yeah, I'll be
Something
back,
do
I'll
needs to
be
be
back,
public,
you know,
especially when it
yeah,
comes to
I'm coming back, I'm
accountability,
coming
especially if it
back,
was
you know,
committed
but then you don't
crime.
come back because that leaves
Definitely
everybody
things, and I
else
know
like,
that I have done, and I will
well, what the
continue
fuck are we supposed to do?
regardless of where I am. Because at the end
So-
of the day, all of it has been for complete betterment of the LSPD. Has it been perfect? No. Have I
That's
made
one thing
mistakes?
that has just
Yes.
always killed
Because
me.
unfortunately, I have a ceiling level. There is red tape, and there is a ceiling level to what I can do, and limited to what I can do as a lieutenant. But did I do some of it? You know, to kind of break some of that ceiling? Yeah, I did. And I'm glad that I did it.
Yeah, I have been doing. I continue to do. I did at every rank that I was there for. I know a lot of my superiors have always told me that they always saw me just do. I was in a unit called CID, basically as a detective for the longest time. I was doing things sort of for myself and with a smaller group of people. I stepped away for that because I knew that not just within the LSPD or within the Department of Public Safety, but somebody needed to step up because people were constantly telling me when I was out on the streets patrolling, but with a specific focus, or whether it was superiors calling me. I know, like, shout out to Joe Ferraro, constantly calling me about things. I felt that I could have a bigger and better presence out there, just being a normal patrol officer, a uniformed patrol officer, as well as a sergeant, and just doing my job and reaching out to people, checking in on people, whether it's my own officers, other government factions, or the public and people out there, and setting an example of how a officer should be and should act by being there for people, not pushing bogus charges, not violating people's rights, not antagonizing people, but just being there, having a conversation, and whether it leads to an arrest or not, you know, that happens. I think anything has really stopped me from doing any of that. I've just continued to do and do my best.
Echo was over there
I kind
somewhere.
of want to just rebut on that. Feedback from officers has been a monthly. It was something that was started by Metzger back in, I want to say April, maybe even earlier. Unfortunately, Metzger is no longer around for reasons out of his control. So I decided to continue the monthly check-ins. One of the feedbacks during the monthly check-ins back in, I want to say June, July time, was that sergeants were not stepping up and doing their job, and patrol did not feel supported. And so I went to the sergeants, every single one of them individually, and told them to either buck up, and I gave them the support and the, leaning of how to do that. I gave them advice on what they should do. Inherently, they have to make their own decisions, but I gave them kind of options, and I said, this is what you can do. Either you buck up and do it, or you don't stay sergeant, because someone needs to step up to that position and actually support the LSPD.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that there was a lot of sergeants who weren't stepping up, and there still is to this day. I think that part of that is they weren't given the guidance, or people above them, or people who brought them to that rank did not tell them what their responsibilities are. And I think I have always held myself accountable from the day I was an officer to a senior officer. I didn't even want to move up for the longest time, but I just did what I thought was right. And with the experience that I have being throughout all the ranks, all the way to head trooper before I came here, I just continued to do. It didn't matter what rank I was. I didn't need rank to do a lot of these things, like just being there and being a presence, or just helping out other officers, checking in on them, or just anything out on patrol.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you both for your cervix, and may the odds be ever in either of yours favors.
Thank you for your
Thank
cervix.
you, Tori, for that question. I am going to interject here because there is a question from the crowd that was sent me a while ago. This question comes from Dr. Mercy Schilling. Pond, this one is for you. Seeing that you have 3 people displayed by you, how do you, as a leader, ensure that appointments are given to individuals supporting a unified vision for Los Santos, as opposed to your bias dictating who will be in power?
the two people I've chosen, including myself there, the two people I have chosen, technically I did choose myself to run for chief, I guess. Well, it was also voted for by the LSPD, because that's how this worked. Those who don't know, the LSPD actually voted previously to bring me in, and same with Ty. But I want to bring in Lana. Lana is somebody who can also hold me accountable. She has different opinions to me, and that's exactly what I need. She's not a yes man. She is an extremely competent officer who has had an amazing command behind her, but also an amazing energy. She has great relations with a lot of the city. I think anyone can sit here and I don't think pretty anyone's had a negative experience with Lana. It's absolutely fabulous. And so I want to bring her in as this, a stable pillar for that. As for Jeff, he also covers the entirety of Shift 3, whereas inherently a space that I do not cover. I think it's good to have a range of people. Someone like Jeff, who is a staple in Shift 3, and also was going to run for chief as Lana was going to as well. These are people who wanted to be here. These are people who also were voted to be here.
So in other
people
words,
voted for Jeff. People voted for Lana.
She
to run
promised
for chief.
them positions in high command.
This is who the LSPD wants, and inherently it's also
to reduce
why
the
I
number
want
of
them.
people running against her.
Phenomenal leaders. It is not a dictatorship. It is smart choice in who I want in my command, because it's also not just who I want, but who the LSPD wants as well.
Thank you. We also have another question from the audience as well. What has Jeff and Lana done for the entirety of the PD, and why would they be best fit for your high command?
I just kind of went over it, but I will, re-solidify. Lana, like I said, has a completely different approach to me on stuff, which is exactly what we need at the top. If we had 3 people who did the exact same thing, that would be boring, but it also would be stupid. I don't need people who can tell me what I want to hear. I need people who can tell me what I don't want to hear when I don't want to hear it, and will tell me to my face, which is exactly what Lana and Jeff will do. They will also tell me, the things that I might miss. Lana is much more in touch with the city and some other officers than I can be, just due to either time or, being lieutenant. Sometimes it's harder for me to get out there. So she can be a big voice for them, and so can Jeff in Shift 3. He will cover the whole of that, and I'll be able to be a voice for them. Shift 3 has had a big issue with not having a voice, and that has luckily been improved over the last few months. But I want to just continue improving it. That doesn't hurt to just continue improving, and that would be an amazing way to do that. Also add, Jeff also revitalized. We got a feedback about Motor. Motor was one of our certifications that we had feedback from that was not doing well. It was not getting good reviews. It was not being received well. Jeff has put in place, and he has revitalized Motor, an amazing standard, and brought in some brilliant people. Now you'll see Motor out there all the time, and that's thanks to Jeff.
Okay. Return to questions of people that are in line.
What's popping?
Oh God.
I can't wait for Q. She's gonna eat Lily up.
How you doing, Lily? Q die. I hope you die.
Okay.
Okay.
Forehead doing.
Being honest. I'm just being honest. Okay. I'm gonna be on the story. Talk my questions, but I have one really important question. Out of both of you, who would win in the fist fight?
I would say me. I have years of experience with mixed martial arts. Years of experience in the military.
Yeah, I'm British.
Would
Give
you
me a
consider
knife.
yourself an aggressive person?
Wow, that's crazy.
Sorry, what did you just say, Pond?
So I'm British. I'd be better with a knife. Let's be honest.
Ty, would you consider yourself an aggressive person? Be honest.
I can be. I don't.
Damn,
feel
she just
innately
escalated
I
that.
am,
Oh.
But I absolutely can step up and turn up the heat. Yeah, sure.
So I don't know if I kind of heard it earlier. You guys were kind of talking about accountability when it comes to officers. But what are your current thoughts on like de-escalation when it comes to the PD? You think they're doing a good job or no?
I
like
mean,
we always
Lily
be
tried
doing
to
a
bring a
better
knife to
I'll
a
just be
fist
blunt
fight,
with you.
so
There are
I don't know if
instances
she
where I
knows
see
what
officers
de-escalation
possibly being antagonistic,
means.
and even if maybe it's considered banter and you think it's okay or whatever, there are definitely officers who have crossed the line, whether it be to the public or on gang turf or in a courtroom, whatever it might be. There's no need to do that. I think people need to know how to read the room. People need to remember what their relationship is with those people as well, and also what they're capable of. Respect goes a long way. You and I have given banter back and forth a lot, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've had my ass roasted for it, sometimes even with a bullet. You got to know that line and when to draw it, and when people go over that line, or there's something happens because of something somebody did, they need to be held accountable for it. Absolutely.
Sorry for crunching in your ear, chat. I'm eating Fritos.
I think most of our officers are pretty good with escalation. I think they're pretty well trained. I think there is I will admit there is a miscommunication between the public and the PD of what escalation actually is, and
Have you ever
understanding
like
when we
just
escalate,
like
why we
craved
escalate,
salt
and,
or
you know,
salty things?
what that will end up resulting in.
That's
To
me
be
right now.
more transparent with that, we have a set of, a 5-step kind of system in why we will escalate something. And our office means to do that. There will always be mistakes. People will always mistake their escalation. But like Ty said, it is about holding those people accountable and either retraining them or dealing with it another way.
Oh, thank God.
I do inherently
I've been over here steady
support my
crunching, so I'm
officers
like,
and
oh my
say
God.
that they have been doing a pretty good job. And also, I want to shout out my
That's the
command and
problem.
my supervisors for calling out people who are not doing a good
Of
job with
role-playing
it
for
out
2.5
on scenes
years
in
and then
other
starting to
places
stream
and
it.
nipping it in the bud straight away, and then talking with those people and figuring out, how they could have done better and reviewing the situation and educating.
I'm so used to like clearing my throat and eating and stuff like that.
I've been caught up and
with the
people are
push to
like,
talk,
"What the
and then I
fuck just
forget y'all can
happened?"
still hear me, and I'm just like, oh
And
shit.
I've had conversations with those people and tried to help either you or anyone understand why what happened did just happen, and
Okay.
either if it was bad or if it was, the right thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like,
I mean, I wanna add to that. Not really a
You know,
rebut. I want to
people-
go further than that. I know you and I have had phone
people
conversations.
crave,
You
like,
call me about officers doing things,
you
or
know,
why we're
sweet
here.
and
Sometimes
savory
it's
and things
banter,
like
sometimes
that.
I think it's
I'm,
friendly,
like,
sometimes
hella
I gotta know when
savory
it's
right
real,
now.
and you know what the threat is there, and that I don't want officers or civilians, or honestly even you guys, to get hurt unless you pose a threat to someone. Actually posed a apparent threat to
Like,
someone.
I don't even
I've had a
want
conversation
sweet
with Mac.
right
I had to
now.
have a conversation recently with the families about
Thank you,
officers
Zach.
and what their
I
conduct was like
appreciate
when
that.
they were going through their set or just
How are
being
you, dear?
antagonistic as well. Again, it comes to a level of respect. I see you as a human being. I don't care what color you rep or what side of the law you're on. We can always have a conversation and try to de-escalate things. I don't think it even has to
Mhm.
just be a thing on scene. It can be a conversation that we have after a scene or before we get to the point of where something happens that we have to call it a scene.
Ah, that's nice.
Okay.
I love those days.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
These are pretty good.
You guys hear me?
Oh,
ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna start nice, and then it's gonna end not so nice. So for the both of you, what do you personally think it means to be the chief of police of the LSPD?
Yeah, I think it means to be somebody who's a leader, somebody who sets an example, somebody who's held accountable for everyone below them, but also puts people in place to hold those people below them accountable.
Ooh.
I believe it also means that you're a political figure.
Yeah,
Like
I
you said,
kinda
you're
crave
a
stuff, too.
figurehead. You have to be able to
When I
play
get
the
like
political
this,
game. You also have to be able
I
to
need
be
like
in constant
like
contact and hold good
Fritos
relations with
are good.
other government factions,
Um,
those leaders of those government factions, and the
and
public.
then like
You are the
pickles.
person that is going to fall on the sword when
Right
shit
now,
goes
I've got
bottoms
a
up.
jar of pickled okra in the fridge. Oh my god, that
Me
shit is so
being the
fucking
chief,
good.
for one, it is something that I have been completely transparent about, and it has been something that I've wanted since day one. I mean, anyone can tell you when I transferred from Vice, when I got my letter to ask to come here and work, the first thing I said was, I don't care how long it takes, even if it takes years. I want to work up to being chief of police, and I want to learn how to do that. It has been something that I've been striving for ever since. Currently within that, chief of police for me is is making sure to have stability, have that spearhead, have the responsibility that you're at the top. Everything that the LSPD does is on you, which is exactly why I have people like Jeff and Lana, because sometimes who I am, like Ty said, with political stuff, I'm not the best when it comes to standing up and speaking about stuff. But can I stand up for my officers and stand up for the community? And I know that, yes, I can exactly get the job done 100%. But someone like Lana and Jeff, who are going to be better at, you know, having those relations and understanding that I have a weakness in a spot. And that's okay to have a weakness. But I've got to bolster it up with the strength. And exactly why I have Lana, exactly why I have Jeff.
So in other words, she's got Lana and Jeff because she can't mind her mouth, is what she's saying.
No matter who it ends up being, needs to be the stability.
And I have a feeling Q is about to eat her up. Oh, God.
Achieve that with the selection.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you plan to bring other people onto your cabinet instead of just your friends? Do you plan on giving other people in the department a fair chance?
I think inherently, yeah, they are my friends. Also, why would it just be about a fair chance? It is about the person who's right for the job. I don't care if they're my friends. I can also separate my personal life from my working life, just as I do with my own husband, just as I do with other people, which is exactly what I can do with Lana and Jeff. And exactly as I have been doing with every single other person within my department. They are the right people for the job, and I know that they are because I've spoken with them and I've been assessing it for months. This isn't some little thing that I just was like, I want to run for chief. No, like I have been planning this for
You literally just said you've been wanting this since day one. You haven't cared about anything but being in power since day one. That is not a good look.
It is not about friendship. It is about what the LSPD needs, and they are it.
Okay, my next question.
Oh, somebody's losing her temper.
Why did you and the other lieutenants kind of chase out Toretti? Was it like you guys were afraid of losing power? Were you not really liking the ideas of inclusivity and less gatekeeping around the PD that Toretti was trying to push? Because he and I had a lot of conversations about this, and he seemed to get a lot of pushback from you. So I really want to know why you guys pushed him out.
So Toretti and I had a total of 2 conversations in the time that he has been deputy chief. One of those was an entire lieutenant meeting when he was told to his face by the entirety of the lieutenants that what he was hearing was incorrect, and we backed it up with facts. The fact that he didn't like that, he never showed up after that again, except for one time, which I brought to him issues, and he said, I'll talk to you about it later, and then never came back. So I don't want to hear that we pushed him out when he's the one who never turned back up, and the lieutenants carried on doing what we could do with no presence, and the promises
I don't want to hear.
He never showed back up. So we never chased him out. He just didn't want to listen and didn't want to come back to do the job.
Okay. Another question for both of you. Why do you personally want to be the chief of police? Not the political answer. I want to hear the real answer with why you personally want it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I wanted to help people. I only wanted to help my brothers and sisters that have been looked over or haven't had a chance. There's a lot of people in the LSPD who moved on either to other departments, whether it was highway or the county, or they just stopped showing up to work. And unfortunately, I think that was a product of the environment and the culture and the lack of camaraderie within the LSPD for a lot of
What did
time.
I say? What did I say earlier, chat? What did I say earlier, chat?
I have no interest.
That's exactly what I
really
fucking
in
said.
being a chief for myself.
I have been watching.
Months ago, when I got hired, when I received mail to come work
And as a
here,
deputy mayor, I was in every PD meeting,
I told not even to go above officer.
dating cops, being friends with cops. You hear them tell these stories, and it's the same shit over and over
how I'm
and
always
over
stepping
again.
up, how I'm always checking in on people and doing things that were way
it's
above
true.
what my rank was and seeing my potential.
Because Ty,
I received a lot of calls from people.
Ty will do what needs to be
I felt
done
it necessary to step up
because
I
he
know
wants
that I
to
can get
help.
the
He
job
wants.
done.
people
and that
to
I care
succeed.
About people, not just people within the LSPD, but the whole.
He don't
Department of
care
Public
about
Safety
power.
and the
He
other government
wouldn't do
factions as
this
well. When I hear
because
complaints,
the only reason
whether it
he's
be from
doing it
inside
is
the
because
PD,
nobody
other
else
government factions,
will.
the public, I
And
take
he
those
doesn't
personally.
agree with how
I
Lily
don't
does
believe
shit.
That people are being
That's why
held
he's running against her.
accountable as they should be.
He has told
and I believe
Etta
that we
as
can always
much
be doing
in
better.
character.
I just want to see
So-
the ship back sailing without any fires. And
go
I want to
Ty.
see that ship able to do what it needs to do, and that is be out there for the public.
And he has so much
I wanna be,
experience in high
Chief of
command.
Police. The LSPD deserves to have somebody at the top working hard, and I want to continue to work hard for them. Inherently, any kind of promotion is selfish.
What do you
Being
consider
transparent.
work hard?
It's going to be.
She says
no
work
matter
hard.
What, you say, no matter
What do you do?
Any kind of promotion is selfish, but that's okay.
Because
at the
all
end of the
Edda's
day,
heard
all
about
the
is how
actions
she
that you
just
do
goes
that
around
follow
being
that are completely
snarky
not selfish,
and
need to be for the people. If the actions that you
posting
do
on
afterwards
Twinsta
are
and
selfish
aggro.
and self-serving, then you do not deserve to be at the top.
What's the word?
The chief needs to be somebody who is out there with the people
Antagonizing.
daily,
There it
like
is.
I am.
People.
I'm always out of patrol. I'm always available for meetings, as I have been and as I will continue to do. I will, as the chief,
That's
I
not.
want
That's not what
foundation
she
and I want
asked. She asked
growth.
why.
I've said a million times in this.
Ty
that
wants
will
to help
only
people.
reflect amazingly back on the community.
That's exactly what it is. She wants
Being
power.
chief
She's
is
always been like
needed.
that.
There needs to be somebody there, and
Oh,
know
I shouldn't say
I'm
that because this is
absolutely
supposed to be a
amazing for the
different Lily,
position,
but
and I'm ready to do it.
Alrighty, sorry, I got a shitload of questions. This is for both of you.
The question.
What do you plan to do the first week you're elected? Like week 1, what's your kind of game plan? What about the first month? Right? What are you guys looking to do with the LSPD in that time frame? What's like your most urgent thing?
wow, Scarlett really bailed on me. Where'd Theo go?
So, I don't have anyone picked out. I think it's fair that I held interviews and feel out a good pulse on somebody who could be up there with me as either assistant or deputy chief. At the same time, because I'm a degenerate and I'm around all the time, I plan on having conversations with all the government leads and heads on anything that needs to be going forward. Any complaints they have.
See, and that's the thing is that Ty is willing to put the time in different shifts.
Going back to the term that both of us are bringing up, is accountability.
Where
I'm going to be having meetings
Lily
with lieutenants,
very clearly
the current
doesn't.
lieutenants, the current sergeants, and the current SLOs. The SLOs that I'm aware of have never
And
had
being
their own
chief
meeting
of
or been a part
police
of a meeting
requires
before.
that.
Was a supervisory level within
Like
the
you
LSPD,
have to
so
put
they've been left
yourself
with no
in.
guidance.
That's
I am going to
part of the conversation
give
that Etta had
details and
with
guidance
Sean
about
on
what
NoPixel
their
was that
responsibilities are
you
within
have
their
to
rank, what they're
find
expected to
somebody
do, and if they are
who
something
can
like a
balance
lieutenant or
out
a
your
sergeant where they are to
weaknesses,
overlook people,
who
what they are looking
isn't
out
afraid to
for
stop you
within
and
those
say,
ranks.
this is not a
I
good
believe that
idea.
a lot of people have been left without guidance, or a lot of people are just ignorant and think they can get away
And
with doing whatever they want
as
to with
much
their
as
rank
he
because
wanted
they're
to bring
selfish,
Viv in,
and I'm not okay with
Viv
that.
and
I don't stand with that. The
Sean
second
do
you
not
get past
have
senior,
that rapport
you
with each
are
other.
for other
Sean
people
and
other
Sky
people's career,
do.
and the LSPD and Department of Public Safety as a whole, you are no
And
longer
them
doing
working
things
together
for
would be
yourself. I think
ideal.
people need to know that, and part of that is also being there for the public.
I don't
how
know
you
this
talk to
Lily.
people in the public and how you treat the public.
Etta does not know this
My
Lily.
biggest thing is I want to get things going. I want to
So
get the ball rolling.
I
on
haven't
these
had
things. I
any
already
kind of
have
an
everything written out.
interaction,
Years of experience running
and with the
departments
way,
before I was head
like,
trooper,
that's why
as
it's
well
kind
as
of
years
weird with her
experience
and
in the
Lewis
military.
right now because
I know I can
technically
get the
Lewis
people in
wasn't
shape, and
supposed
if
to
they're not gonna
remember
get in
Etta
shape
at all.
and do what their responsibilities are or treat the public
But
right or
I
act
think
right
he
to
kind
the
of
public,
slipped
then
up
they're
in
gonna be
that
gone
court
in
that
that
night.
rank.
I took that, as like his signal that he remembered her, and now it's just kind of weird. So that's why I'm backing off and letting him do his thing. But I haven't even spoken to Lily in character,
Is
so
it captains who are already ready to go? Like we already know that there's some are, or if we need to feel any kind of like worry about something, hosting interviews with those people. But I want to get that done succinctly within a couple of days, because then I inherently want to start moving people up from the lower ranks. People deserve the recognition, but not only that, having ranks filled out, make sure that people don't slip through the cracks. Things like shift 1 is a big issue right now. The LSPD has, I think, 7, if not 8, maybe even less officers in shift 1. That can't continue to happen. If fund needs to be looked at. What we can do to bolster that area. So that's a big early focus, is to get shift 1 stable. Shift 3 is doing absolutely phenomenal. So shift 3 will be to make sure that, as I always do anyway, check in with them, make sure they're good, and then know that they have Jeff to talk to. And then obviously shift 2 with myself, I'm around late shift 1 into shift 2 into early shift 3. So that's gonna be at least the first week. We'll be moving people, and then I want to, within the first month, I want to introduce a medal and honor system. This medal and honor system will be something that we can vote in internally between the PD, but also you as the PD, as the community, will be able to go to an MDW and put someone's name into an application and give them a commendation for the work that they've been doing. I think we focus a lot on the negative, and it really brings people down, which then just affects the general mood of everybody. Like, people deserve positivity and recognition for the good work they do. We're inherently giving them something to strive for, and they should be recognized not just in promotions, because then you get just a bloat and you get like stagnation. You need to be recognized in other ways, and I think having medals and honors is a great way to do that.
I have actually more I want to add to this. I think a big problem, and it constantly comes up as a question, it just might be worded differently every time, is that obviously there is a view from the public that PD has done something bad, or there's been problems with the PD, and I agree. And I think part of that problem is the current people we have, which is why I want to have interviews to possibly see if there's new potentials. And those interviews won't just be for the deputy chief or assistant chief. Those are going to be also to see if people can fill other ranks and bring new blood in, because potentially we might have people who are just comfortable in their rank and not performing those responsibilities or not acting as they should in the public within their rank or responsibility.
And that's the thing,
They're not becoming
Lily.
an officer. So I wanna bring new
They get
people
comfortable in their
and give them a
position,
chance
and they
to
get
see what they're
snarky,
about,
and they get
and maybe they'll
mouthy,
end up
and
doing
they
a better
put
job, and
aside
the
the
public will have a better
professionalism
view,
because they feel that they
of the
can't be
PD because
touched.
of that.
They've earned their position of power, and now they can do and they can say whatever.
When we already have a pretty good structure, it just needs to be.
And it's not. People that are
and
continuously
stabilized.
antagonizing
Breaches of an issue,
and being unprofessional should be removed from their position, because they should not be holding a position in command with such horrible behavior.
Brought up and communicated to even higher than them.
A
then
one-off?
that's an
Okay,
issue,
fine. That's fine.
That someone should have already, dealt with. For me,
But like,
I
now,
know that we already have
Etta,
a
of
really
course, is
experienced
biased
team,
because she's
people
been
in the
dealing
right
with Polito and stuff, but now she's
will
also hearing
do
about
wonders for stabilizing
her
what we have and growing what
making
we have.
comments about Jerry, Q's dead
This
husband,
Next question is off of EMS. I've had them send me in a couple of things.
and
This is for
other
both
people
candidates.
who have been,
Is the PD going to stop
mistreated.
villainizing the EMS department? How are you guys going to better the relationship between PD and EMS? And are you guys going to try to stop controlling the other government departments with the threat of pressing charges instead of having conversations with people? Because they are finding that a lot of the times, if the EMS haven't necessarily broken a law, but they're doing something bad, they're going to start threatening, we're going to press charges so you lose your job. So how are we going to better these relations between the two departments?
I can already answer this one. It's something I've already been doing. I've been going out, talking with Shay, talking with yourself, talking with other parts of the EMS, asking them who are the problem people and getting to the root of the issue. And this isn't just an LSPD issue, that might I add. It's a complete PD-wide thing. Obviously, as the chief, inherently, I look after the LSPD, but that doesn't mean that I can't go communicate and deal with either deputies or state or whoever. And it's exactly what I did. EMS came to me and said, hey, these people are talking bad. I went and told those people that is never going to happen again. And if that comes across my desk again, then we're going to be a lot further than me stopping this in its tracks. Because I don't believe in just dealing and putting out like a blanket statement. You have to go to the root of the
she's
problem
building up.
and talk to
DLC,
those
she's
people
building up. She's
and
like,
deal with them.
she's getting her to like set herself up and be like, okay, so then why is it okay for you to make inappropriate comments and joke about the death of my husband?
Okay.
if she hits her with that, I'm gonna laugh so fucking hard.
If there is base for those charges because of corruption or other things, then I agree that that should happen in conjunction with people like the DA's office, etc., to work on those. But they should not be used as a threat. And if they are, then those people who are making those threats have to be brought forward.
You can always hear it in her voice. Like she gets.
I don't agree with villainizing anyone.
A little bit louder
Threats of
and a
pressing
little.
charges
You can
should never
hear
be a
that she's
thing. You either
more.
do press the charges or you don't. Whether you
I don't want to
have,
say pressed,
what is
but she's
necessary to press
more
those charges.
on the
EMS
offensive.
Are a huge part of
well, on the
our
defensive.
society.
She
They're
is
there
incredibly
to pick us
defensive.
up when we are physically down and hurt.
And that's the thing
to
is
save
that
our lives.
in too many of her
I hear
answers,
all the
she's
time
like,
from them. They pull me
cops are
aside. I have a lot
human,
of
cops
friends who are
make
with
mistakes.
with
That
the
is
EMS.
true. And
They're
Etta will be
constantly
the
feeling
first
villainized,
person to
and I
say
feel
that,
like
but
the
at the
reason
same
that is
time,
happening
look
is
at
because
who
it's
her
still
dads
happening, and
are.
people who are doing
They're
it
also
are
held
not
to a
having not
higher
been held
standard.
accountable,
And if
unfortunately.
you
Sometimes those
can't
people are all the way to the top
regulate
and
your
above my head.
mouth, and if
I
you
don't think it's
can't
okay with that.
control
Now,
your
I don't agree
emotions,
with
then
corruption,
you
and
should
there
not be
has
in a
been
position
some
of
incidents
power because
of
you
that,
are not
and
setting
they
an
need to be held
example
accountable
that
because of
others
that.
need to be
But
following.
that doesn't mean
Because
we should be
other
villainizing
people
them
are
or
going to
making
see her
threats to
antagonizing
take their
people on
job or to
Twinsta
press charges
or,
on them
you
just
know,
because
making
somebody doesn't
inappropriate
agree
jokes
with
or
what they have
comments,
done.
being
If you have
snarky, being
charges,
passive
work
aggressive,
with the
and they're
DA's
going to think
office
that they
and
can
work
do
with
that
trying
too.
to get them out.
And that is
Otherwise,
not it.
move on with your life. Be
Because all
professional,
that's
be
going to
cordial.
do
They are
is
the
it's
people
going to
who will scoop
continue
you up and
that
save your life when
that
you are out there.
animosity
We are to work with
that
every
the
government
that the
faction,
public
and
has
they
towards
should all be
PD.
treated with the utmost respect.
Just because you can doesn't mean you
I've
should.
Also, with Shay and
Like with
also
Ty.
isn't just me. Other people in the PD helped tremendously with this.
Ty is chill as fuck, and he'll be the first one. He'll be like, "Damn, yeah, you know, I got mouthy, but I caught a bullet for it." He literally just said that. He goes, "So then I realized I needed to rein it
Not being
in."
communicated well with. Their jobs are being interrupted. And that's a massive issue. EMS should be able to come to a scene, do their job, save someone's life, treat people no matter who they are, criminal or cop. It doesn't matter. Or civilian. It doesn't even matter. So a big thing we did was improving people by having first aid training within the PD. So that flow can happen a lot smoother. And I'm in constant communication with people. There was literally an incident the other week. I was talking to EMS just before I came here about how we can try and improve radio communication. These are all things that I have done and will continue to do.
Okay. I got two more. One, it actually was kind of a great segue because you mentioned that you came to talk to me and you talked to EMS. You talked to me one time a couple of weeks ago.
Here it is.
And before that,
Here
I
it
can't really
is.
recall a time that you came in and checked in with me personally about my department. And it seems to me that this only happened because there was the dangling of a promotion in front of, your guys' faces. And I want to know, why should I trust to vote for either of you? If Pond is a lieutenant and Ty is a sergeant, how can I trust either of you to do anything to unify the LSPD if you haven't been doing it already? You're at the top. Why weren't you already doing this?
100% have been. I came and spoke to you because the feedback that I was getting from my officers was the way that they were talking about people, the way they were dealing with things. I was like, there clearly has to be some kind of thing here going on. Not just as simple as black and white. So I wanted to come talk to you, and I not just only spoke to you, I spoke to, let me pull up my thing, I have so much. I spoke to leader of EMS, I spoke to Shay as well, I spoke to Sean as part of the government lieutenant, I spoke to Sparks as the DA's office, I spoke to Strongrock as part of the FIB. Also got with Kate because she said she checked in with the Supreme Justices, and so we made sure that it was good there. It wasn't just you. There was definitely a lack. There was a gap, and I can 100% agree. We should be communicating much sooner. And that's on me. I take accountability for not reaching out. We definitely still communicated sometime before then. If there were any issues, we had talks. I've been in your office, or other people have been in mine, or been on the other end of a phone, be it what. But inherently sitting down like that and having an actual proper one-on-one should have been done a lot sooner, and I want to continue to do them every month, just like I do with the PD check-ins, and expanding it from there. this isn't just going to stop with like because the election's happening. Communication has to be a constant improvement, and I want to continue doing that.
I wasn't aware of any promotions happening or anything to do with the chief of police. I just continue to do my job. I know Q, you and I are in constant communication, even outside of just being friends. You come to me with problems all the time, and I solve those. It didn't matter what my rank was. I have people above me who probably should be the ones being reached out to sometimes, but it seems to be, and I'll quote Supreme Justice Joy when he endorsed me the other day at my rally, that people tend to come to me from other government factions and have these conversations with me because they know I will get them done. When somebody brings something
It's
to me
true.
from the public or
It's
another
true
faction,
because
I just do.
he
When I see
literally
something,
will
I just
stay
do. I have
up
no problem having open lines
to
of
talk
communication.
to
I have no problem
somebody
holding my officers
because
accountable, no matter what the rank they are, and I have no problem holding myself
he knows
accountable.
that they
I have no
can't be
problem having
around
harsh
until later.
conversations with other
He
government
can,
factions or the public
and
either.
he was literally he
You
stayed
reach out to me
up
personally
to talk
about
to
things
people
going on with your own doctors
because it was
before, and I've
important.
worked with you to either help them, whether they were being harassed,
And he will
or it was
do.
yourself, or whether it had to do with possible corruption or
He takes
fuckery
care of
happening.
shit.
There's got to be a reason why everyone is reaching out to me, even whether I'm a sergeant or not, and not other people.
I just want to say, like, I also don't want to echo this whole thing of, oh, the lieutenants have done nothing, because that's just inherently uninformed and incorrect. It also erases the hard work of people like
She keeps saying
Stokes,
inherently.
who in Shift 3 has completely flourished the PD and the LSPD in itself. If you ever end up in Shift 3, you know that they're an extremely strong force, and they're people who work together and are amazing. And it also erases people like Kate, who have done great work with
Everybody
relations
has
with
that
other
one word
departments,
that they
but
use a
also,
lot. I
with
use
CLD, etc.
what the fuck do
And
I
the
say
same
a
for
lot?
Lewis, with Del Paro
I have a
building
couple
their
of
entire
words
department.
that or
You know,
phrases that I
inherently,
use all the
didn't-
time.
I'm not up here alone. There were 3 other lieutenants, and we did the best that we could with the camp that we had. There will always
Hers is
be room
inherently.
for improvement.
I'm not saying that as like a bad thing. It's something that I notice when I hear people speak. Because I know I do it too. Oh shit.
All I can say is,
Please don't be dead.
you know, I'm going to continue to improve those, and that's exactly what I have been doing and will continue to do.
Alrighty, that I was gonna ask one more, but it was more of a personal thing, so I'm not gonna ask that. I am good.
You.
Nah, Q, you should have eaten her up. You should have eaten her up with that
My
shit.
boy Haley.
Hey, you guys hear me loud and clear?
What's going on, boss?
Hey there, people of Vinewood Bolt. My name is Wolf. I just got a couple of questions. The first question being, what is, if you guys get the status of chief of police, what is your action going to be taken of the street gangs and the motorcycle clubs of Los Santos? How will you stop organized crime?
Harold, it's okay.
Believe that we're going to stop organized crime. I've come to the
It's a big
reality
enough
that
seat,
people chose their
Harold.
lifestyle, and I'm accepting and
Q
okay
does
with
have a
it.
fat
While I don't
ass,
agree with it,
so.
I'm gonna find a reason to coexist and work with you guys. I'm gonna continue to let myself and my officers do their job.
Well, you lost your privileges.
But that job doesn't include
Okay.
antagonizing or causing problems or furthering issues we have. Again, I've stated before, I don't know if you were here, Mateo, but I've had plenty of conversations with him, or McCann, or people of the families, or any of the MCs. Osiris just reached out to me to have a conversation with them about PD escalation. Open communication goes far. I don't think we're ever going to completely understand each other's lifestyles, but finding a way to respect each other, coexist, and be the least violent, and understand that you're gonna do what you guys do, and we're gonna do what we need to do as our job.
Oh shit, I'm about
serving.
Y'all, I'm about to die.
I think that is probably the best that it's gonna get.
forgot I had food.
Honestly. I don't think we're ever going to officially stop crime.
Maple
Plus, we wouldn't have a
bacon
job if there
pancakes,
was no
y'all. Oh
crime.
my god.
I mean, a few of us would, but we wouldn't need a big old PD. So, it's about the realest answer you're gonna get.
True.
Yeah, to answer the question about how we're actually going to, deal with those people, one, it's the reason that I advocated so hard for certain certifications, certifications such as speed, such as motor, such as, people who would have warrant apprehensions, etc., etc. The list goes on of certifications, because inherently those certifications and educating them and training those people will then improve you know, targeting those types of crime. That also includes departments, helping open up departments, things like Vinewood, things like Davis, things like Del Perro, and helping
People love their
support those
chases.
to
You gotta have the
target
chases.
you know, the groups in that area. And now when
Cops
I say
and
target,
crims.
I don't just mean go down there and, you know, ruin their day and always be on
But
their
I
ass.
heard.
I mean, people who can inherently
I heard
get to know those
somebody got
groups instead of it
a
just
bit of
being, like, on my
excessive
shoulders.
response
You have
last
to be able to
night,
delegate and spread
and
that
now
work, and
they've gone
it's much
full
easier for one department to get to
violent
know one or
against
two
the
groups
PD.
and be specialized in that
And that's a little
understand
scary.
them, on a, you know, on their own levels.
Apparently,
than
Rod
it is
and
just
Wade
for
got
me
hit
to
real
do that.
hard
It's better for Vinewood
on an
to focus
ATM,
on,
I
you
think
know,
it
Mirror
was.
Park and the factions who reside
And
there,
now
and
Wade
same
is
up
gonna
at
be like
Vinewood. It's better
shooting
for Del Perro to
cops
focus on the factions of Vespucci and
because of
Rockford,
it.
and same for Davis to focus on
So
the south
there
side.
goes her hanging
Because
out with
then
Wade and
those
Rod.
factions have, they know
But
who
she
they
was
can go
already
to,
not
they know
gonna
who
fuck
their
with Rod
separate
anyways.
contacts, but they also for on the LSPD side, we then know who inherently is going to be looking into those people and keeping either the peace or having to deal with them when they escalate. But it's also about communicating and respecting that across all police departments when it comes to a place like Polito and Sandy, and knowing when to take a step back and let those people deal with that area, because they're more knowledgeable and can deal with them on a much more human level than someone who doesn't patrol up there can.
I have another question. It's more directed at you, Ms. Pond. With you, if you did get chief of police, with your relationship with your husband, how do you believe, like, would you give him a promotion? How would that go about?
My husband obviously is in the PD. We are the same rank currently. My husband is someone who I've held accountable. I literally shouted at him the other day because he disrespected EMS on a radio. I'm gonna be transparent. I called him out for it. And I said that that's not to happen. We literally sat here like improving relations. You shouldn't have done that. I even told
You're
Shay
gonna
I
fuck
told
up my
him
chances of
about
getting
what he did
chief.
because I believe that
God damn it.
you know, we might be married. I can have a form of separation, but inherently doesn't matter what I can do. It's about making sure that transparency has someone to hold, you know, him accountable, but also to make sure that he's educated and be given the best position. I'm not gonna sit here and say that he might not get a promotion, but it won't be up to me.
Just following off that, with the streets, you know, I'm very into street politics, and quite frankly, people do talk between each other. You know what I'm saying? Your husband being a notorious shit stirrer within the streets of Los Santos. Some would say that he eggs people on and escalates situations. If this was to happen in front of you, what would you do about that? You know what I'm saying? Like you said previously, you gave him a talking to, you shouted at him. That doesn't mean shit. What are you gonna do about that if that continues to happen?
Tried by extremely big fist. That's the reason I have a, you know, cabinet who can go inherently against me. I have people up in my command who can deal with him. There is a system in place to deal with that. It doesn't have to be up to me. But I will also hold him accountable. I'm not afraid to do it. It doesn't affect our home life, so I don't care. I care what's best for the LSPD, and that's who comes first because it's my position as chief that becomes first. I will deal with him. I don't care how that, you know, translates. If it translates to demotion, whatever. It does not affect me. It's about what's best for the LSPD and putting them first. I'm also with the community, putting them first. If I have to make a decision, I'll make a decision. I don't care.
Amazing. I like that response.
If you don't mind, I'll add to this. As chief of police, if I make it there, he will absolutely be held accountable for his actions.
Just I would expect
tolerate
anyone else to, you know, hold their family or relationships accountable. I would do the same.
That's crazy.
You would separate your work life from your personal life.
Do. Yeah.
Just got one more question regarding just for you, Miss Pond. Again, sorry to pick on you here.
Fine.
But when you're bringing in your command, if you are elected chief of police, you mentioned that you will be bringing Jeff and Lana. Now, I'm a man of trust, and I know Lana's somewhere around here, and she knows all about that. Can you assure the public of Los Santos that that trust goes both ways, and that you know.
Why can't people silence their
there's gotta be a
phones?
level of trust between the public and the
It
police
ain't that
department.
hard.
Would you agree?
Much just been silenced since like day 3 on the server.
Like my question is like, what do you mean about like the trust? Like, what do you want to see from like how does it like from Lana and Jeff? Like, what would you what does that expand on that question for
From
me?
personal experience, I've been betrayed. That's the word I would use by Lana in the past. Now, we have squashed our differences, okay? But I was lied to, and it hurt my feelings, quite frankly.
That's exactly why
I
hope
love
you
Wolf.
guys can
He's so
squash the
funny.
differences and have that kind of conversation. If there is an issue, I have no issue also holding my officers accountable. I have promoted people, and those same people I've put into rooms and had to demote them. I don't care if I put them there. I will take the fucking thing of saying maybe I shouldn't have put them in, and that'll be an issue. But we still, deal with them. But I also expect, like you said, like a level of communication. If they want to hold themselves accountable and have accountability, as I would expect anyone who makes a mistake to do. And that is exactly what I'm looking for. And both Jeff and Lana are people who I know when they make mistakes will hold themselves accountable. Jeff made a mistake the other week and fucking suspended himself for 48 hours. But he also made sure that another officer, like a lieutenant, suspended him officially, It was something that was really not needed to be suspended. I'm going to be frank. It was something so minor. But he chose to hold himself accountable in that way. He did not need to do that. It really was nothing that needed to be there, but he wanted to do it.
So praising him for doing
Trust
something
him to
that
make
she
that
just wants to
decision.
blow off,
I just
that's
have
not...
one last question.
Suck.
2, we willing to take a bullet for another officer?
Are you willing to take a bullet? Wait, are you asking me or asking Ty or asking both of us?
You both. Would you, even
Yeah.
if you were elected chief of police, would you put yourself in front of a bullet for your fellow officer?
Patrol is not my patrol things. My patrol time is not. It's going to inherently reduce, but I will always be out there and be responding to things with my officers and being, on the, straight in the front with them. Did it today. We had a situation. I will continue to do it. It doesn't matter what. That will go for any officer. We'll continue to keep each other safe. If there's a way that I can make sure it doesn't come to shooting, absolutely, I'll do that first. That's class of de-escalation. But if it comes to it, yeah, I'm going to be there with my officers no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I would be the sword, but also the shield for my officers, but not just my officers, for the people of the public. I'd absolutely take a bullet for any innocent person. I signed up for this job, and I'm going to fulfill what the responsibilities of this job are.
Good answer, Ty.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Because she didn't mention the public at all.
The public, fuck Kip Dwyer. That's all. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Mr. Haley.
Oh, come on.
Hey, before the next audience member asks a question, I have a question that was sent to me from anonymous. Pond, do you think that Mira's clothes are purple or pink?
That
Where
is
is
not
she?
important.
Oh, I see her.
It's not important.
Pink.
Thank you. It's not lavender. If you think it's lavender, you're stupid as fuck.
That's pink. What?
Thank you.
but the other
Big
ones
T,
aren't.
big
You
T.
bitch.
Recount.
What up,
Oh.
Freddy?
Fuck you, bitch.
I have a question.
Wait.
Before the audience asks a question,
Have a
we
seat,
also
Toretti.
have, two
Oh,
questions.
wow, Toretti.
One from Nick Off Time.
Yo, Toretti from the skies. Who called it? Who called it?
It's a fucking chief of police debate.
The question is for the both of you. Can you guys both hear me?
Wow.
Both of you guys hear me up there? Okay. A lot of the answers I've heard, this is from Deputy Nick Off Time. A lot of the answers I've heard both here and the last internal debate last week have been pretty much the same between both candidates. So what makes you uniquely qualified to be chief of police?
Yeah,
What sets you apart from
it
the other
is.
candidate, and
Who
why
called
are you
it?
the
Somebody
best
said
choice?
Toretti from the
The question
skies.
was,
Somebody said
Deputy
Toretti
Nick
from
Off
the
Time.
skies.
Yep,
Yo, here
I've
he
had
is.
experience, leading not just the military, but also leading
Oh.
police officers and
I
departments.
miss Mantis
From all the way
so
from the bottom to the top.
much.
I've been through all the ranks. I've
Was it you? Yeah, hell
the
yeah.
LSPD and the BCSO and the Rangers before
I
I
do
came
miss
here.
Mantis.
I've built up teams. I've built up units and elements. worked
God,
towards
I remember
certifications
watching
that people
him
wanted
when he
to.
was just a cadet. He was the forever
biggest
cadet
thing is I wanna
that
see
Bob was
everyone
always
succeed,
bullying.
and I wanna see
Everybody was
everyone,
always
when they
bullying.
punch that
And then
clock in,
finally it just got
able to do
to
their
a
job,
point
do
where
it to the
Copper
fullest,
was like,
and
you
do it
know,
with a smile
people
on their
need to
face and
stop
enjoy
just
their
fucking,
time.
you
I
know,
wanna be able to say
gatekeeping him
yes to
and let
people
him
when
be
they
a
come to
fucking
me about an
officer
idea
already. And
that's
then
not egregious.
Bob
I wanna
finally
be able to
fucking
support
promoted
everyone,
him.
and it's not just within the LSPD. I want to do that
And
for
then
the
look
whole
at how
Department
far
of
he's
Public
come
Safety, because
now.
even though I will be the chief of the LSPD, I'm still going to be there for people, a part of
He's
the
always
Department
been
of Public
great.
Safety if they knew me.
Spicy ones I can ask.
I believe that having been through the ringer before, this having been a rerun for me, and having those of years of experience, I will be able to rebuild and do things for the LAPD.
Found out they're trying to replace me. My God. Bring it up with Bob.
I'll get to ask my
Yeah, I
question
feel
in
like I've already answered
October.
this question, like a bunch here, but I
They're
will,
trying to
just reiterate
replace me.
everything that I've
Bitch, where
already
you
said.
been? Of course they're trying to replace you.
Being like I said, I've already been lieutenant and I've been sergeant before that. This is something that I've been working towards for a long time, and I've been also educating and better myself. I've made mistakes in the past, do is improve on that, and continue to be the thing that the LSPD needs. All I've ever had is the LSPD's best interest at heart, and how the community's interest at heart beyond that. At the end of the day, it's about the public.
Why
it's
is
about the
Bryce
public,
such a
but
shitter?
also,
I
the
swear to
community
God,
move
I
that
love
forward.
Lucas. He's great.
You know, I reach out to my officers. I'm there for
Oh,
them, whatever
makes
they
me
need.
laugh.
They reach out to me whenever they need me as well, which is always amazing to see. It's been amazing to watch the LSPD grow in the state that we have been in. I'm so proud of what people have done, and I will continue to be proud of them no matter where I am. I would just love to be able to be in a position to be able to continue to do that without feeling held back or feeling that, you know, there is some force that I have to wait for an answer for. Able to, you know, continue to then grow the community around the LSPD as well, and continue to improve things.
Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah. Hello? Yep, you're on the mic.
Yep.
All right, all right. Madam Speaker Pond, Sergeant Slaughter. What measures do you intend to implement to address the issue of police officers violating the civil liberties of ordinary citizens? As someone who has personally experienced violations of my rights on multiple occasions, this matter is of great concern to me.
Yeah, I agree. I've spoken about this, and I'll continue to speak up about this because it is an absolute problem. We should not be out there looking to fuck people over. Our job is not just to get arrests. Our job is to not pump people or take things away from people. Our job is to be there for people. Obviously, part of our job is to arrest people who are committing a crime. And with that being said, if people are in the process of violating someone's rights, then they should be held accountable. Part of that process of being held accountable is, and I tell everyone, take them to court, sue them.
Nice.
And then if it is found to have been a violation of rights, if I am chief of police and I have the ability to hold these people accountable, which I will, then there will be punishments for their actions. And if they continue to do that, then they'll probably end up with no job. Because I don't agree with that. We're there for the people.
Oh, they're really gonna come straight through.
For me, I've actually personally had my rights violated. Happening right now. Do I need to deal with this, or is this
Just a regular shit, regular type shit.
One second. I'm just gonna make sure we're safe before I continue. Okay, we're good.
We're good, Lieutenant. Go ahead.
I've had this happen to me. I've had my rights violated by another officer. What did I do? I sued them. And I then also went further with not just suing them, educated them. And I you know, put people in place to make sure that they were looked after, that they were educated, but also that they were held accountable for what they did. internally and externally by suing them, but also internally within the PD, because I was involved personally with it. I did speak to that person, but then I had other people make sure to continue forward, and I now have a good working, and I still do have a good working relationship with that person, and I've redirected that energy into something else. Because inherently, people should be suing officers if they,
There it is.
you know, if their rights have been
I'm gonna start a
violated.
counter.
But suing isn't enough, because if that person money is great, but at the end of the day, if we don't stop that person,
That's literally
violating
what
more
Ty
rights,
said
we're just
earlier.
perpetuating a cycle, and that can't keep happening. People have been fired, people have been demoted, people have been punished. It has happened, and I'm sorry that the community has not been communicated with on those punishments internally, which has then perpetuated this feeling of accountability not happening. When I promise you that it has been. Have there been times where things have slipped through the cracks? Sure. That no system is perfect, but 100% it has been happening. It will continue to happen. It should be a primary focus for whoever is up in the top.
Interesting.
Thank you. Madam Speaker Pond, I have one more question for you. Is that okay? Hello?
Yeah, sorry, I said yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Is it possible to make Jeff Jefferson less appealing? It seems like his bad boy looks and cute helmet on his super badass bike are turning heads everywhere he goes. He's attracting attention, and it's causing distractions that might lead to accidents, as people can't help but stare. Maybe we can find a way to tone down his appeal so that other guys aren't hitting on him all the time, or not as much. Thank you for your time.
I apologize to anyone who is a single father out there. There is gonna be nothing I can do to stop Jeff. He is a force for all the single fathers out there. So the way to deter Jeff is don't be a single father, okay?
What you clearing your throat
if
for?
otherwise, then I
Dress
can't stop
uniform.
him being the extraordinary good-looking force that
I think
he
I
is.
have one of those in my car. Stand by.
Okay, hello? Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, awesome. Finally, I'm so glad I can ask this question. Okay, starting with the old lady on the left. What is the recommended amount of dedicated RAM that I should have to my server? I'm trying to start up a new server on Minecraft. Feel free to join it. The IP will be open soon. No idea how much I should dedicate.
Ma'am, I would love to join your Minecraft server, but when I play Minecraft, I lose weeks of my life to it, and right now I can't. I just can't.
I didn't invite you.
I'm
asking. Not you. No cops.
The old lady.
No cops allowed.
Oh, fair enough.
I
don't
it's
know
just
why
the
you'd wanna
technical.
RAM your PC, ma'am. I don't know why you would want to do that to your computer.
Okay, next question. Thank you so much for your question. We're gonna
Another
move
one.
on.
I had another one.
Okay, next question. Go ahead.
How many people have you shot? Whichever one shot more, I'm voting for.
By far, me.
Boom. Thank you for your time.
I don't know
justified.
about that. I don't know about that.
I think I was up to like 56 people. Yeah.
Technically sit there and count who I've shot. I definitely I'm on patrol a decent amount, so it has happened. But I don't particularly sit there and count.
Ratio wise, like what's your KDA?
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your question. We're gonna
Wait,
move on to the next person. Thank you.
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
move
God,
now.
unfortunately,
Thank
I can't
you.
stat track it. Sorry.
All right.
Will we use
Question,
stat tracks
please.
on our weapons?
I'm going to bed.
Alrighty. This is gonna be 2 questions, but they're kind of loaded, so bear with me. Okay, so it's for both of you. In recent times, there's been a surge in violent crimes due in part to gangs taking hold of towns and sectors in our state because of the police's recent rhetoric of appeasing them through community policing instead of confronting them head-on to avoid direct conflict. As Chief of Police, what is going to be your policies on cracking down on these gangs and motorcycle clubs taking over businesses to make a profit and dismantling them?
That's a good one. Yeah. This is actually part of what I did for the longest time before I decided to step away from CID. I led gangs and narcotics for the longest time. I do agree that there has been an uptick in rise in gangs and violence, motorcycle clubs, etc., whatever they want to call themselves, groups. and they obviously most of them hold down a area, turf or set or whatever they'd like to call it. I think there needs to be a policy set in place, and there needs to be certs and units set in place within the PD that we have been lacking since, unfortunately, I did step away to help out Patrol, because Patrol needed a solid foundation before I continued doing what I was doing originally. But I think we need to lay the law down when necessary. But we also have to look at the optics of, if we go down there and constantly are targeting them, it might agitate them. They might start not just attacking officers, but attacking the public. They might start looking at other government officials, and that has happened. It is a very hard to just give a blanketed answer to, because not one situation is the same, and not one gang or group is the same. They all act differently and react differently. As far as it goes with businesses and laundering money, yeah, we have people looking into it with civil asset forfeiture, which includes money laundering, what they're doing. But that stuff takes time, and it's not the easiest to figure out and bring forth in the court of law.
We have entire dedicated investigation departments, and it's not just us, but also FIB and other places who look into these people, and it is being done, and I can promise you on that. We have entire, we've got our entire task force starting up to warrant apprehend people, but not only that, to train officers and educate them as well on better dealing with violence. It's also about understanding who you're dealing with. For example, a group of in Polito is going to be dealt differently by me by the.
Oh, you think he cares? You think he cares?
I'm going to refer police force up, say, to sheriff's force.
I mean, we stream this shit. You think we care?
Because they know that group better, they understand them better, and they can deal with them better. For example, but in the city, a good example would be, I look at all the different groups. I try and understand
He is
them.
not afraid.
Particularly, I focus on Mirror Park or that kind of side of the
I'm
city.
not either.
Marabunta and
Yeah.
Helheim,
I mean, but would anybody really be
with them. I've
surprised?
spoken with
Anybody
them.
that's heard us talk to one another too, like,
Had talks, but they also understand
nobody
that,
would
as
be
I have done to
surprised.
another group in Mirror Park who I ran out because of the, them committing crimes of being violent influences. The same could happen. They haven't done anything to warrant that kind of response, so I won't be giving them that kind of response because they don't deserve it. But people like, I guess Marabuntas is a good example.
I was about to slash me and like wipe his mouth with my hand and be like, I'm just cleaning off my seat.
They went through their area, and I spoke to them, and I laid it down very firmly that is not going to happen. I'm not going to stand for it. We've had instances where we've up patrols.
I'm curious if he's gonna say anything.
Because of a response, understanding when to escalate and how to do that in a responsible manner isn't just going to perpetuate a cycle of violence.
Right.
There is all good being a hard force, but
Oh
you can
God.
communicate with those people. Yeah, you've got to put.
This is some Chris shit.
Understanding
Chris has
the
posted this
actual root of
before.
the issue and not just going in there with guns. Sometimes you do need to, though, but the root of the issue is what needs to be solved.
I want to add to this. I'm in constant communication with a lot of these groups and stuff. I lead Davis PD. We're in the heart of the South Side. It is not a safe place. We've had drive-bys on the building, et cetera, et cetera. Definitely a time and a place to put your foot down, but there's also a time and a place to have communication to lessen tensions, and it is a delicate thing to do, and it is hard to know when to do what. And I say that I've been doing a damn good job from a lot of feedback I've gotten from the civilians and the people who live in the South Side, as well as the groups in the South Side. And I'm gonna shout out to my Davis people, continuing to do that have that same effort and ethic with the groups and people in the South Side and the gangs down there.
Oh, that's his ex thing.
Okay.
That's the last chick he was fucking.
Yeah, so this is the second part. It's a little bit more direct towards the both of you, and you can be as it could also apply to a group. It can apply to I guess an enterprise, if you will. What criminal enterprise or organizations do you believe right now are the biggest threat to our state, and would you consider lobbying the Department of Justice for RICO laws to combat this?
I brought up RICO charges to the specifically racketeering, but I brought a RICO charges to the DOJ long ago.
Oh
I can't
God.
tell if that's Joy
Monka
out there. I've
W.
had so many conversations with him and Montag and other justices and judges about RICO charges. It doesn't seem like they feel it's necessary because there's other charges in place. But as far as it goes, in bringing down these groups, I wouldn't say that one specific group and one specific group is probably the strongest. I would say that there are a few groups that are out there in a force to be reckoned with and feared, unfortunately. They all sort of hold down a different area of the state, and they all specialize, I would say. That sounds so weird to say, but they all kind of have what they're good at and what they focus on. And it was a big thing I looked into when I was in gangs and narcotics and led that division. I couldn't really tell you which one is probably to be the most feared or is the biggest group.
Yeah, there are always trends in activity with groups. So some groups will have a couple of weeks where they'll be really active, then times when they're not. So it's really about assessing who the problem areas are time by time, day by day, to look at that over time. For example, right now, I guess an issue would be those who identify themselves as the blocks, and another group as well. They've been causing issues, especially with EMS, the hospital. We're keeping an eye on them, and we literally today had a situation where we had to use deadly force against them. They did. So, we are definitely committed to looking at those areas, looking at those trends, but also having people in place to look at that and assess where the issues are and create, task forces or create direction on how to deal with those people. It's not a thing, it has to be a team thing, and I would always be for RICO or any kind of version of that. I think that we, there is always something we can work towards. The DOJ is very open-minded with things, so.
Yep.
Thank you for that question, sir. We're gonna move on to the next person.
All right, I'm out of here. I gotta go fucking turn somebody in for.
Poking me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
Before.
Are you hungry?
Car robbers.
You're up there.
So is this a loaded question?
Yeah, I can hear her.
Do you need
Just so everyone
food?
is aware,
You get that
requires
later.
Sustenance, yes.
Yes.
Okay. And if you
Requires sustenance.
you owe me $100.
Yeah.
You can send to
Okay.
I have to leave in like
for the
10
ones you did
minutes.
if you didn't know my pronouns, but now in the future you do. Anyway, question.
There you go.
Thank
Do
you,
you
thank you.
think that
You're welcome, baby.
police officers can ever be part of the community? I noticed in your previous answers you haven't really included police as part of the community. You've been saying that they're there to protect the community and they're there to serve the community and stuff, or to watch over the
You get it?
community.
Okay, he did get it.
And
Good.
to,
Motherfucker.
But you've always been referring to police as not necessarily part of the community. Do you think that you can integrate, or will you always be outside the community?
Yeah, I believe I'm sure I can definitely say this, but we already are part of the community active effort because I also have a life. I want to go out there and go to events. It takes a lot of time to go off duty to go to those things. I go to businesses. I've also been working on a business and helping that grow down in Vespucci. Definitely part of the community. I make an effort to go out there and talk to people, not just in the city, but out up in Grapeseed. Lido isn't too fond of me being part of the community, so probably won't head up there just out of an understanding. But
For reasons?
I do make myself part of the community, and I will continue to do so.
Not
and
for
always
just any
support,
reason.
the businesses, but not only that, the people out there of all different walks of life.
Interesting.
I go hunting. I've been farming. I do go off duty and have conduct my life.
Yeah. First off, shout out to Caruso. I miss you, Big Lou, and Lou's Friday Extravaganza for those who remember it. Yeah. Shout out. I miss him. I believe that the PD is absolutely a part of the community. They're there for the community. They would be nothing.
Damn, is that
without the
Idol?
community.
Is
I
there
was
an
someone
idol
who
on this
absolutely gives
server
up on me.
too?
I know
What?
I've annoyed the shit out of probably Sean to the point where he was ignoring my calls when I'd want to go off duty just to relax and hang out. I spend time up in Pluto at the diner. I know you've seen me there before. I spend
Oh,
down at Dean's World.
he's gonna go.
Have plans to go sit at Beans Machine tomorrow, which I do plenty of times. I thoroughly enjoy being a part of the community and seeing what people have to offer. I actually, one of the things I was working with Davis, and whether I get chief police or not doesn't change anything. I'm going to be building a rec center in the South Side. I'm actually working with some of the groups and the gangs down there to have that happen and it be a neutral place.
Well, that's
for
kind of sick,
people
actually.
To go, people to have
A
like
rec
swap
center?
meets. I don't want to call it a farmer's market because I don't want to take away from like what Grapeseed does up north, but for businesses to come sell their products, for food trucks and businesses.
Oh,
to
I
come
didn't
and
see
serve
that.
people.
Oh shit.
I want to have a gym there.
You
I want to have like
did, yeah.
people having. I've spoken to some of the doctors who do physical therapy, and that they are going to have and host physical therapy there and different classes for like Pilates and yoga. Believe that I'm a part of the community. I'm nothing without the community. I'm only here because of you guys and for you guys.
Vinewood Police Department was a big passion project of mine before anything to do with Chief. I wanted a place for people who wanted to focus on being community police officers. Obviously, it's talking a bit about more my time on duty rather than off, so unfortunately, but that inherently then events. We will continue to do that. I don't know if anyone's driven past Vinewood, seen the construction. We really want to make it a place that will be able, the public will be welcome, like any police station, but it's going to be, very inviting, and I want the force that works there to hopefully be able to be people that could be communicated with, and we can focus on them and bolstering that relationship.
I want to add to this actually. I want to shout out to Gamble. I don't know if you're here. I saw you walk in earlier, but Gamble and I have spoken about as both being people who have maybe gone through like a quarter life crisis or something, and both having motorcycles hogs, starting up a PDMC, where our biggest focus is not just being off duty and having fun, but being for the community, checking in on businesses and the people, and going around and having conversations with them off duty, and showing that we are also people and human, and we're
James
people
did
other
tell
than,
Etta about that,
we're
the
people outside of just being an
PDMC,
officer.
and I think that's like so cute. Bro, John, frick you, homie.
You're hold on, I don't know if you're using the mic right. We can't hear you if you're
Hear me anymore? Shit.
Homie, frick you.
I had to talk to Tori for a second. Oh no, it's
Ain't no way this chick came over and sat closer.
sorry, I owe you 100.
This is what I'm talking about. That's the little shit that fucking irritates.
This one
Like,
I guess. I know it was
back the
sorry,
fuck
not you,
up.
But what do you
He has
do you
claimed.
have any plans to contribute to the efforts to restore the endangered turtle community after several baby turtles were run over
Not the turtles.
murdered
Fauna, please.
by a member of your family / you don't have a wedding license, so I feel like your brother and sister. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my twin sister. Yeah. Sorry, are you not done?
Oh yeah. No, I'm done with that one.
Yeah,
Well,
I
frick
don't
you
agree with
too.
all.
Have
I
a good
spoke
night,
to her.
sweetheart.
I don't want to out her.
I hope you're
but she
doing well,
also
John.
was very much so afraid of dogs because of what I consider to be a funny incident when she was younger. Tried to talk her through it. Tried to work her through it. I've even tried to bring her forth to therapy. I don't think that's okay. I'm a big animal supporter.
Love you too.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you that there hasn't been times where unfortunate incidents have happened, but as officers or just people and human beings, we should care about the other beings out there, and that includes turtles. So yeah, I'm not okay with that, and I've expressed that to her and held her accountable for it.
So both of you can answer this, but this is based off of one of Pon's earlier answers. She said that officers making threats and misusing their office will be disciplined. If members of the community feel threatened and in fear for their safety based on the behavior of officers harassing the community, do you have any plans for how you would handle situations like that?
Want to go first? Or me to go first?
Can you ask? Sorry, I was sending you the tax. I apologize. So I thought she was gonna go first. Can you ask that again?
I can ask again, sure. Earlier, Pond said that officers making threats and misusing their office would be disciplined. If members of the community come forward saying that they feel threatened and in fear for their safety based on the behavior of officers, and they feel like they're harassing the community, do you have any plans in place to deal with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold those people accountable. They should not be threats should not be made to the public of any sort, especially violent threats, but even threats about making arrests, because I firmly believe that if you have the grounds for arrest, an officer is more than likely going to do that and should do that and follow through.
I should have eaten
with
actual
that.
food, chat.
I don't know that I would say that this is
I
like
have a
a
massive headache
demotion
now.
thing unless it's a repeat offender. Rather, it should be a conversation that has to have we figure out why they're doing this, if it's a retraining subject, or maybe some kind of therapy where maybe they need to be learn how to communicate with the public better, seeing as that is a huge part of their job.
Yeah, I feel there's two sides to every story. So that I would take. Say I got a complaint that came through, came into my desk, and I would, I would assess if the person I'm dealing with, is it someone that I can deal with impartially? If I can't, then I'm gonna assign people to deal with them. We're gonna start a command report, and we're gonna, to then track what is being done. So it's not just swept under the rug, and the issue is then tracked and documented somewhere. We're then going to pull that person in for a conversation and talk to them and get their side of it. We'll then assess the situation from there, look at the two sides. We might bring in people like the DA's office, etc. if we feel like charges or anything need to be pressed. But inherently, we can also deal with a lot of things internally, whether that comes to suspension, retraining, demotion, or just having an educated talk with that person. Then those are the kind of things that will and have happened multiple times to make sure that it doesn't happen again. Now, if it happens a second time, then we're definitely going to escalate from there to a higher form of punishment, or potentially even further to a firing.
If an officer is harassing members of the community and making them feel afraid and threatened, where is the line between investigation and stalking?
Yeah. Well, obviously, from a public standpoint, it's hard to tell when somebody is investigating you or people around you. But I feel like the line gets drawn when it sort of gets personal, when pictures are taken, maybe published publicly. If an investigation is happening, that should be an internal.
You mean
thing.
like Lily
Those
did to
things should
Kenny?
be kept within the PD.
Literally
if
snuck
more than
into
likely,
the
if you're
back
looking into
office of the
investigating things, you're
diner
probably not even
and
including
took
the
a
whole
picture
PD on
of
it. There's
Kenny
probably
and
groups of
Letty,
people, whether it be
like,
CID
together,
or whatever unit or
and then
or
posted it
department
to
you're part of,
Twinsta.
looking into those things, and that should be kept there. I feel like
You
that
mean
is
like
a
that?
very distinct line that needs to be drawn. And
Is
should
that
be
what they're
drawn.
talking about? Because she did that shit. She
There's
did
a
that shit
difference
like a week.
between, having
Yeah,
an
see, she knows.
investigation on someone and stalking.
She
But
knows
if
she
that's
did
brought
that
forward,
shit.
Then it will be assessed, and it will go from there.
She knows she did that
also
shit.
gotta
She
understand
knows
kind
she
of
did
when,
that shit.
Like you said, people.
She's
also have
smiling
personal
because she
time,
knows she did that shit.
And I want to look at it in the sense of get both sides of the story. Look at the reasoning for why you're doing that. Are they investigating them?
Yeah.
Is it just that
Yeah.
they're investigating them to get information? They don't need to press charges. Is there a wider thing here? Is there a reason? Because, like Ty said, you're not gonna get communicated to if they're being investigated. So to somebody on the outside, it probably looks like someone is stalking them. So that's unfortunately just going to be a thing. You know, if it's brought forward though, we will look at it and figure out if it is actually
Oh, wait, did I
stalking
not?
thing that is happening, or if it's someone's just, you know, doing what they need to do for their job. Just as black and white as, you know, it can seem.
Would you say that taking pictures of someone with their girlfriend in the back room of their private business is part of a normal investigation?
Is this? Why do you make a report, lady? What is this?
Well, no, I'll just talk about it. I don't care. I
did that
tweeted it
already.
out. That wasn't any part of
It's on
investigation.
Twitter.
That's because I was
on
trying to get
Twitter.
food from the diner up there, which was actively advertising as open. And I looked around the building. I went inside the building. I asked multiple times if anyone was there.
So she
They were
goes into the
advertising.
back
I walked
office?
around the back, and this was also when the property had no property lines. I did double check. I walk around the back, and through a very, very clear and open window, there was the person who was supposed to be working and attending to their customers, not doing that. And as a disgruntled customer, I placed my review, as anyone should do. Because we should hold people accountable and have transparency when the people aren't doing their job.
Taking a picture through a closed window is an invasion of privacy. That's kind of yikes.
Directed towards both of us.
Yeah, I mean, that was a specific event, but if you found out about one of your officers doing that, Mr. Slaughter, what would you do?
Well, I'd check in with the officer to see if there was actually some level of investigation going on. Maybe it could have been something harassment or human trafficking, sure. Then I see no problem with it. But if it's, you know, I think there's a line to be drawn. Obviously, if it's the officer knows these people and it's lighthearted, which I assume the reason this is getting brought up is it wasn't. But I see no problem with it, I guess, as long as all parties are consenting. But if it was not, and it was in some kind of weird manner or anything like that, I'd have an absolute problem with that. That is not professional at all, especially while we're on duty.
You can't call yourself a customer. That doesn't mean that you can stop acting like a cop. You're still on duty, therefore you're still an officer of the law. And a closed window is, there's an expectation of privacy there. And to invade that privacy,
Obviously we have,
that's
the director of,
regardless of
public
whether
safety,
you
we
could
have
see
Bob.
through the window or
But
not.
also that, I believe like the sheriff,
There's
or even
still
the
an
mayor,
expectation
or
of
the lieutenant governor, or
privacy.
the governor's office, anyone like that could definitely bring an issue forward, and it.
And
and
I
deal
don't
with
know
it.
about y'all, but if you
But
go into a
Bo is
business and you
inherently,
can't find
as
an
the director of
employee,
public
you don't go
safety,
walking
I was,
into the back rooms, right?
You know, we do
You
have
can't.
checks and balances
You
in
don't do
place,
that, right?
And anyone,
Yeah.
no, regardless
So-
of that, can bring issues forward with the chief.
That's not how
to
that
get
works.
that solved.
I mean, pretty much what Pon said to add to that, I personally believe that if I'm not fulfilling those duties, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I've been there before. I've stepped away from positions because I either wasn't around and fulfilling my duties, or maybe I believed I was making a mistake. Not necessarily at the level of chief or like high command, but I have stepped away before because of stuff. I also believe that when this chief stuff was brought up, I was actually been having conversations with department heads. That includes Supreme Justice Joy. I believe that there should be a council in place of government leaders, that those government leaders can hold other government leaders, which would include
I can't
the
escape
chief of police,
councils.
accountable. And there could possibly be like a vote of no confidence, or maybe if enough issues are getting brought up and they think that that chief is either not fulfilling their position or doing things that are not good for the department and or the public.
The PD
that
should be able to
those
bring
issues can be
forth a
brought up and
vote
that
of no
council can make a
confidence.
decision on what's
If it's
going on.
a
That council would obviously
if it's a
include literally
majority
everyone
vote
Pon's
of no
named,
confidence, the PD
as
should
we
be
do have
able to
checks
do
and
that.
balances, specifically with Bob, who's the director
Honestly.
of public safety.
Yeah, I want to build up that. Like, when I put that kind of one of the proposals forward for the chief of police election, one of my ideas was if we didn't have like a public vote or anything
hands are
else,
killing me
that the
today.
people who chose the chief could be the same person who removed them, which is that council that that group of people, council, whatever, what do you want to use, panel that I'm speaking about. You definitely need people up there to hold those people accountable.
That's what Jason wants to
make
bring
sure
back
there are
out
checks and
council
balances.
too.
And I think a big
Fewer
way that the
people though,
can also do
which I
that
think
is if
so.
the mayor is part
I
of that
think it's
panel,
good.
people need to use their voice and vote for the mayor who is going to, you know, have their back and do that for them. So please make sure you choose, you know, the right mayor so they can then hold other people accountable underneath them.
This is the last general question, and then I have two for Pond. This one is, are there any plans for equity, diversity, and inclusion classes for PD? I've heard some things from members of the community in Polito. As you know, Polito is for the gays. More aware of people. I don't know how to word this.
Oh, I 100% understand what you're saying. As someone who is pansexual, I'm also I'm on the autism spectrum and also have ADHD. I completely understand from dyslexia. I completely understand. And I've also had to go through like explaining to people sometimes how to have a conversation with me or how to, you know, understand certain things, but also be empathetic towards things. 100% if there are issues that are happening there, and I have spoken with people when they have not addressed
Oh, so this where we bang out a quickie?
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. I'm gonna take them shorts off now.
Oh, so what do you think? You like?
I lie.
Thank you for informing me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I like.
And educating people, and everyone that
How
I've
was your
spoken to
shift?
so far has been completely
That's all right.
receptive. If they're
I
not
had to
being,
do
that's
an arrest and
bigger issue than just
issues,
the
and
chief of
now I'm
police.
here.
I'm
So
gonna be honest.
You sound wiped.
100%. There should
Fucking
always
shot.
be diversity and inclusion in anything.
Okay.
Shot.
All
But I
officers
wanted to
should
say
strive to have
goodnight
that
to you
and
before I went to
look
bed.
educate
So
themselves if there is
Well,
a
thank
section
you.
of
I
knowledge they are
appreciate
lacking
that.
and be receptive to
I'm
that.
always gonna say
education
goodnight to
as
my girl.
well.
What are you
But I
talking
also beg
about,
other
bruh?
people to understand that
Almost every
not
night.
everyone,
almost every
is
night.
knowledgeable on
Say goodnight to you
things,
every night.
Last night?
and that's the best
Well, you were
thing we can do.
cuddling in the RV. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Communication
you're
and
funny.
education is key.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I believe
we were
that
cuddling in the RV. Don't
Yeah.
try me.
Nice try, but
everybody
okay.
respecting
Don't
other
you
people
try me,
as,
bro. Don't even try me.
Hug
just
me.
other people existing
I love you,
and
baby.
doing
I
what they
appreciate
love
you.
and they enjoy.
I love you too, honey. I'm glad you had a good night and didn't get
I
shot.
would never
Thank you.
stand for any kind of prejudice.
You sent me
or any
that
kind
text
of,
like, "Are you okay?" or "Please say you're okay." I'm like,
or anything
"Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
fine. What the
I don't
fuck?"
agree with that at all.
Bro, there were so many
Be-
beeps. I was
be
like,
very
oh God,
inclusive,
please.
and the PD
It was
again
making
is
me
there for
nervous.
the people
So.
in the community.
Nah,
And,
nothing with
if
me
there is a
tonight.
problem
So
or
nothing
has been a
crazy.
problem, then
Good,
education
good.
and communication
I'll get his
are
Have you
nipples
heard
shut
from
off
our
first.
to fix those
daughter
things,
today?
and for
Actually, I
people
haven't.
to learn and move on
Oh,
from it.
okay.
Yeah,
Well.
I'm thinking about moving forward with the adoption papers, but I don't know.
Oh,
We'll
yeah?
see. Yeah. Family's getting bigger.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, is she okay with that?
She hasn't said no, so I'm gonna have a real talk with her about it, see if that's what she actually wants.
And the best
Okay.
thing that even like Ty said, like that we can do is you communicate that with us, so we can then educate those officers regardless of whatever rank. You can go talk to anybody. You know.
So,
we
what do you
wanna make
think
sure that happens.
that have you been paying attention at all to what's happening?
I mean, for what I've been here for, yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
still pretty limited. But I still
Yeah.
think Ty's gonna win.
I think so too.
I hope you guys.
I think she got far too comfortable in her position and did some things and said some things thinking that she wouldn't have to face repercussions, and now it's coming back to bite her in the ass. So
Has she been called out on any of that during this?
yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, she has.
You'll have to take notes for me.
I spoke with Stokes. This
Yeah.
isn't something she's actually
All
interested
right. Well,
in.
I love you,
spoke with her
baby.
when the chief elections
All right,
originally
I love you
happened.
too.
This isn't something she's interested in. She's comfortable where she is. Lana has also been away at COP.
Well, you come cuddle with me when you're all done
for the
tonight,
past few
okay?
weeks and,
I will.
Has been,
I will.
traveling. Does
See you
not
later,
mean she
baby.
has not been
All
attending.
right.
She has been every time that I need
I'm gonna
to
watch you
communicate
walk away
with
'cause I
her,
wanna
I've
see
been
that
able to
ass
reach out,
jiggle.
same with anyone else.
You're
But she,
ridiculous.
like anyone else should do,
Love
take
you.
appropriate time off, you know, for herself. Some personal things come up. Take time off, and that's okay. Be held back. Take time off when the experience is there.
Oh, he's great.
And that speaks solely for itself.
Have
She's
you
been making
have you
massive
talked to
effort
him?
these past few days that she has been back,
God.
even though she is extremely sick right now. To go out there and talk with people and really hit the ground running and come back to really push herself with that. So yeah, that is what I have to say.
What? It's fine. It's fine.
only have
What?
one more
No, don't say that. Don't say that. He's had some really weird hours.
Earlier, you said you believe the PUD responsible for an area are supposed to be the ones policing and be responsible for that area. If you believe in that, why are you so obsessed with Polito, which is on like the polar opposite of the island from where you live?
I can actually speak on this perfectly. I actually had a conversation with Winston the other day where I told him that I will.
You gotta nag
not
him.
around.
You know
I
he got a
spoke
goldfish
to the
memory.
people, up in Polito.
He legit has a
Because,
goldfish
I
memory.
feel
You gotta
like,
remind
I
him.
should be focusing on the city and focusing on them. Obviously, I still have a job, and the state is still inherently where I will patrol. I will be everywhere. So if there is crime that happens,
He got his
in
guitar, though.
Polito, then and it requires me to respond, then I will go.
I
there,
know.
because citizens
Literally,
still
it's
deserve to be
every man.
protected, no matter where I am. But I'm not.
Although, to
necessarily
be
not
fair,
looking to anyone. I spoke to both Ron, who
he
runs
doesn't have a
Polito,
goldfish
sheriff's
memory when it
office.
comes
I
to
also spoke to Winston and other
Etta.
people who are big presences in the community
So,
up in Polito.
you'd give him lessons. What? I want to hear you play then. Next time you go live, I want to hear you play. I've heard him play. I know he can play. So,
I'm not allowed to ask any more
That's
questions,
true.
so thank you both.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your questions.
Have a good night.
I mean, there is such
Next
a thing
up's
as
gonna
too
be,
many,
Supreme
Fauna.
Justice
Jesus
Joy.
fucking Christ.
And then after, maybe Chief Deputy Dominic Tretti, and then we'll be done with the questions.
Deputy Chief, the way around.
Hello, both of you. All right, so I got a
But
spicy
yeah.
question, one for each of you.
That was
and
she.
then a
That was just
general
way too many
question for the
questions.
both of you.
She should have. She should have like.
I'll start
hit
this off
like
with Pond.
specific.
First, I just
that
need
was
to
too
make a
much
brief
because
little
then people
comment.
lose
So
interest
earlier
and
you all
people's
were
eyes start to
talking
glaze
about,
over.
you know,
That's the thing
accountability
about
and the
events
idea
on
of, well,
servers
what if
like
we
this.
have this
You have to
council that,
limit
you know,
how
they
long they
have no
are because
confidence in the chief of
people's attention
police. Well,
spans, especially
we
when
already
the
have
ACDC
that.
kicks
So if
in,
you've read Section
and
15
it's
of the
like
Dean Act about
you
how
can
to impeach
only
elected officials, well, right now we're having an election to pick
Well,
a
that's
chief
not
of
fun.
police, and this may be amended in the future, but for now, you're both elected officials, which means to
Yeah.
the people sitting in the center over here, you actually are accountable to us. And if
People
we lose
really,
faith in
like,
your
they have to
ability
limit
to faithfully discharge
how long,
the duties of
you
your
know,
office,
certain events
we
are,
can and
so.
will impeach you.
I love it here. And I would fully welcome that, but I would hope that I could hold myself accountable before that happens. If I don't, that is extremely, or even PD or anyone would sort me out before then. If it even gets to that point, I'd be extremely disappointed in myself and my entire run as chief. But I'm glad that there is already, a system in place.
Yeah, so just so you both are aware that that's already a thing, because until you are not classified as elected officials, yeah, you're subject to impeachment just like the mayor through the
Okay, I'm
same
gonna listen to that
procedures
later.
as listed in that act. Anyway, that segues into my first spicy question for Miss Pond. So, it's not exactly a secret amongst many members
Yeah.
of the government
Oh,
that,
joy.
as far as the two candidates that are up here,
The fact
you
that she
probably
came
have
in-
the worst of the two as far as relationships that go with government departments. Not even a week and a half ago, you were screaming at one of my judges over a decision that they made in a courtroom. I've watched you have fights with my colleague, Supreme Justice Montag, in our prior government communications channel. The spat between you and Hayabusa, which seems to be a personal one.
Yo, Joy
naturally
came in
doesn't go over well
swinging.
with, the doctors and medical staff. You've had beef in the past with the FIB, and Strong Rock is in attendance, standing right over there. And certain members of the DA's office has also
Damn.
had issues. I don't believe with you personally, but with some officers under your command. And so my question is, in your case, what are you going to do to mend relationships with these other government factions? Because as the chief of police,
I
know
created
your,
beef.
your first duty is to be beholden to.
That's the thing is like she's sitting here and she's like, I work to improve communications, and I'm like, all I ever like. Okay, since Etta has come to this server,
with the rest of us, and
all
again,
I've
right now,
seen
based
is
on
her
sort of my
being
just personal
snarky
assessment,
and
you seem to be the
antagonistic
candidate that
and
is
condescending and
the
passive
less
aggressive.
fit
Like
for
I have never
collaborating
heard
with the
her
rest of the government at the
genuinely
moment. So I'm
like
wondering
be
what exactly
nice
you're going to do to
ever.
fix that,
Like
remedy
since
that,
she's
make
come back
amends,
here,
whatever it is.
and I'm just like, bruh.
I'm gonna go
And then she's sitting here.
say inherently I stand up for justice and I stand up for
Inherently,
what I believe in, and by
again,
justice I mean I will speak for myself.
that's her
my
buzzword.
officers when I feel like they have been wronged. I'm not just gonna sit there and talk in back rooms and you know talk between my little friends. I'm going to go out there and talk to the people and make the issues known. I will have private
She is mad.
conversations as I have
She's
with
been
people,
mad since Quimbley.
I also think there are other instances where people do just generally need to move on from things. For example, the situation between myself and Quimbley was one instance that
Bro!
happened months ago. I've never brought it up since.
Disrespecting the dead is not something you move on from. Hell nah. I would cut a bitch for that shit.
I've moved on. I moved on ages ago, but what I have had is a continually fine, to my knowledge, working relationship because I can put things aside and actually.
Oh
do
my
job and
god,
work on
this
things.
is.
I've done it with people within the PD that I haven't necessarily agreed with. But have I been able to put those issues that I have with people personally aside to do my job and do what's best for the LSPD? Absolutely. But I can 100% also sit here on the other side.
She real for that one. She real for that one. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you. She real for that one.
Being quiet about it. And definitely people have pulled me into offices and already held me accountable. My own command has held me accountable and spoken to me about these things.
Yo.
And said, hey, you know, you need to be more political. You need to be more polite. You need to bite your tongue. You need to do this.
Disrespecting the dead. She literally just said, Q, you need to move on from me disrespecting your dead husband. That is crazy. That is crazy. Ain't no way she just said that.
And that's why I have people like also just
Ooh!
Jeff and
Ain't
Lana,
no way.
you know, yeah, sure. People say they're my friends, but inherently they're also people who will.
That
tell
is
me, Lana, I know she's
crazy.
here, but she has told me to my face, and so has Jeff, and so have other people, when I'm doing something wrong. And they will continue
Bro,
to do
the
that.
entire fucking public opinion tells you what you do wrong, and you just sit there and go, haha, I won. I got the W's. Today's a good day. You know, this is the shit that she posts on Twinsta. Like, hold on. Let me find her.
People hold these resentments, people have these issues, but a lot of the time people just don't talk to people about them.
I wish we could, like, I wish the search, like, worked. Hold on a second. Pawn. Is she on here?
Ty, your spicy question.
I know she
So,
posted-
With you, I
there it
essentially
is.
have the opposite problem. I've stated as much publicly that you seem to have a good relationship with other members of
Let's go
the
back.
government.
Let's go back.
But I'm not so sure.
See, look
how
at
that
this. 3
extends
W's
to
in a row.
your
On a roll,
fellow
baby.
Officers. And part of the issue that I have with your platform here is I've heard a lot about, oh, you know, accountability. I've experienced, I've done this before, but
This was the thing
outside,
that they
and
outed her
feel
for.
free to
She
correct
took a
me,
picture
but
through a
outside
closed
of,
window
I'm going to build a rec center in the south side
of them in the
I
back
haven't heard a
office where there was an
single
expectation of
concrete idea what
privacy.
you
So this
actually
is
intend to do
that
as
post.
the chief of police. Like Pond is over here.
It's
She's got
like
her full,
he's allowed to take
high
a break.
command
He
rank
was the
structure
owner
fleshed out,
of
ready
the
to go,
diner.
hit the ground running.
If he didn't
She's
want to
already
come
got people
out
picked out that
and
she's gonna
leave
promote
his
into captain
break
positions and raise up
to
in order
help
to
her,
get the,
that
get the
doesn't
ball moving
mean
on that.
that she can,
has a grand vision
as
and
a
design
disgruntled
of what she's going to do to
customer,
help her fellow
go and
officers
invade his
and help
privacy
fix
and
the
post his
problem
business on fucking
that a
Twinsta.
lack of upper level leadership has happened. Whereas from you, I really haven't heard a single thing outside of I'm going to build a rec center and
Yep.
I've done this before.
That's
so
chief of police material.
What actually are you going to do?
I mean, I spoke about this earlier. Might have been before you were here. my plans going forward in the future will be I'm going to have interviews. I'm around all the time. Interviews for assistant/deputy chief. I want to give a fair shot to the people in the PD. It'll also give me a pulse on how people are and any ideas they have that they'd like to bring forward.
And then
people are made
I
up
think
of good ideas.
the
it's a good
comment
way to
that
get
she
them.
made
I also have plans to bring people
about
captain, sure.
Q's
Might have interviews with
husband
that as well. I
was
have plans set forward of holding people accountable by
Captain
which
Sparkles. Oh my god,
every
that is a
single
name
rank
I haven't
has
heard in a long time.
responsibilities.
Oh my god.
And unfortunately, a lot of people have not been held to that standard. I want to give people the guidance and let
Disrespecting
them know
the governor.
within their rank and whether they want to go up or down, what those ranks entail.
Okay.
I want to hold those people accountable with what they should be doing. If you're
He
a
does
field
100%.
supervisor, your
That's the
job
thing
to
is
be
because
out there
like
on the field, get a pulse on
Ty
what
is
going on with the
very
shift. You should be checking in with your officers, receiving feedback from them, giving them
Ty is
feedback.
very
Your
down
job
to
is
earth.
not to
Now,
just lead every
do
single
not
scene that
get
you
it
see
twisted
or need to be a
because
part of
Ty
you feel that you have to
he
be shining
can
stars. You should be
roast a
uplifting
motherfucker. Like
around you
he
and allowing them to
will
succeed.
talk
Because
some
once you get
shit.
to the supervisor
But
level,
he even said up there on the
your
stage, he's like,
position, your
"Yeah,
job
I've
is no
bantered
longer
with
about your
people
career.
and
It's
I've,
about
you know,
helping other
crossed the
people
line and
thrive
I've caught a
succeed,
bullet
and
for it."
thus
You know, but
building up your
you
career
have
and,
to make sure that
and
you
building up the
have
department as a whole. I
a
believe that
relationship
once
with
I'm
the
able to have these
you know,
conversations
people.
with what is expected of every single rank and what should have already been expected of every single
Yeah.
rank, but nobody was there to
I
hold
mean,
those people
Ty is
accountable,
always very considerate because
that we will see a
he
lot less problems internally with the PD because people will know what is
see, I know
expected of
that
them, and if they are
he's
not
played
fulfilling
Crim a
their
lot.
responsibilities,
And
after
so
having a conversation
he
and being fair
has
with them,
that
they will
balance,
be
which I
removed from their
Lady Hope
position,
has
and
as
someone
well.
else
But
might be a little green
you
to
know,
it, but if you give it a
Ty
chance
as
to
a
do so,
character
a lot
is
of those
just
people
very
have
laid
currently
back,
slipped through the cracks.
and he
So I want to
he
help
knows
people,
when
build
to
people
have
up in the
fun
department
with
and let
things,
them know
but
what
he
their
also knows when to
responsibilities
lock
are
it down.
with the department, their rank
And
within
it's
the
like
department. I also
he
want to have conversations, which I already currently do and have a good pulse with the other government leads and heads.
he reaches out and he always speaks to
Anything that they'd like
people
to bring forth, maybe kind
like
of, I
he's
just had a
their
conversation with
equal.
Strong Rock about helping
Lily
out
does not do
analysts,
that.
analysts with
And it's
basic
not
police
just
work
because
so that they
she's
could move to
British.
being an
Like,
agent. I have
y'all have
conversations
heard
with
her up
all
on the
time
stage.
about
She's
either
been
charges
incredibly
or officers. I have
condescending.
conversations with Quimbley constantly about things that are going on either within my department or the LSPD as a whole.
And
or
just
Department
like
of
she
Public
said,
Safety,
she's
how
got
I
a
can work with
temper
that,
and
or
she
things
will
that are going on
pop
in her
off
department.
and start hollering at folks, and you can't do that.
There's a lot of things
You
that
cannot
I'd
do
like to
that.
and I have the experience to do. Getting back
He
to
does.
the basics.
Yes.
Is what is
And
necessary
that's
to get
very
that
much
started.
that
If
is very
officers
much
are
how it
not
is.
knowing what they are supposed to be
Ty
doing,
will
then
always
how
speak
should
to
I
people
expect
like
them or anyone
when
else
Wolf
to expect
Haley
them
came up,
to fulfill their
a known gangbanger, you know,
Yeah, I do just want to say,
and he's like,
having,
you know, Haley, is that you? What's up, big dog? You know,
that's
like
exactly what we should be doing. And
he
talking with
speaks to them
people,
on their level, like, you
but
know,
we need to make sure we're following it through with action.
like what's going on? You know, he's like, oh, how can I help you? You know, or whatever. You know, like he just talks to people. He's real. You know,
it's been spoken about before. All of like 3 people have actually on a serious level been demoted. I don't know why it's such a scary
and he's
thing to talk
always
about.
like that.
People got to remember once
Lily
you pass the level of senior,
has
like
been
a senior,
trying to do
your career is
damage
not about
control
yourself anymore.
in
You have to focus on
like
people
the
around
couple
you,
of
your
weeks
shift,
leading
your
up to
department, your
this.
precinct, Department of Public Safety as a whole, and people have not been held accountable.
And it's
to
too
that,
little
and I'm
too
not afraid
late.
to do that.
It's just like
Having
Etta just told
conversations with
James
people
in
is great, but
character.
holding
It's
people
like
accountable
she
and
got
making sure
too
that they know what
comfortable
they
in
need
her
to do so they can
position
succeed in
and
those
felt
types of
like she
positions
couldn't be
and do
touched.
what they need to do
And
in the
so she
department and
did,
for the
and she
public
said
is
whatever the hell
absolutely
she
necessary,
wanted
and without
to,
that foundation, we're
thinking
gonna
that
get nowhere,
nothing was
and
going to
that's why
happen
we
to her,
are
and now
in the
it's
place
come
the
to bite her
LSPD
in her
currently
booty.
is. And to quote you, the LSPD needs a good dicking down. You better
So
do it than me.
Ugh, that's the grossest thing I've ever heard.
All right. So, final question for the both of you. And this goes to sort of the public image of the police department, because when we have mayoral candidates who are running legitimate mayoral campaigns centered around defunding the police department and setting all of your budgets to 0, that's a little bit of a problem. So, what my question is, how exactly are you going to rehabilitate the public image of not just the LSPD, but the police department in general? And I know your answer is going to be, oh, well, we're just going to hold our officers accountable, because that's a word that both of you have been throwing out here, basically like candy. Oh, accountability. I'm gonna hold my officers accountable. Okay, what the fuck does that actually mean? And I know this is a bit of a hard question to ask because it's fact specific, but as you've already said, Slaughter, the police department has only demoted like 3 people, I think you said. And how do we know that that's not just going to continue? Because clearly there's been a reason why there haven't been officers demoted. Clearly there is a reason why the public feels like officers get away with things. And what guarantee, what reason do we have to think that that's not just going to continue? Because it's been happening since well before you stepped into office. Like, what assurance do we have that it's not just going to continue?
This is a big for me. I already have ideas in place. One of those is I feel like the community is not communicated back, and I said this at the start, so I apologize if it's repeated. Community isn't communicated back on the things that we do, so they truly do feel, and I understand why, things aren't done. So like I said already, I want to improve that communication by having a letter system that goes out to people who make complaints, by using our admin department that we have and our dispatch department, by letting them know who are the officers who dealt with that issue. I'm not going to necessarily go into full details about what was done, but people need to have closure and deserve closure to understand that. To move on to that, it's why I have people like Nana and Jeff, who are big staples of the community. I'm going to push things in departments to host things like more events, to be more open, retraining if it's needed. That's been a big reason people haven't been demoted. It's a lot of the time it's been isolated incidents with 1 or 2 people that then get spread around like gossip, so it seems like a bigger issue with a lot of people. All it simply required was retraining that officer, and either having them do things like go to counseling, have retraining, taking some time off, coming back, reassessing, their position. There has been demotions, 100%. People have been charged, people have been sued, and rightfully so, and that should continue to happen. I'm going to continue to support those systems, and I know for a fact that with a healthy and stable
if you fire somebody and force them to wait like No Pixel does, well, like they did, and gave them like a 30-day cooldown, that will hit home the point that you need to knock it the fuck off, far more than, oh, we're going to retrain you because this is wrong. And it'd be like, no, this is unacceptable, you are fired, and now you gotta figure out what the fuck you're gonna do for a month, because you can't be coming in here and doing this bullshit. That is going to drive the point home a lot more than, oh, you just need some retraining. Because then that's basically saying, well, I can get away with that because all they're going to do is slap me on the wrist and retrain me.
Why a lot of officers have not been, for instance, demoted, but there have been plenty of times where officers probably should have been
demoted. It's not...
I have no problem being that person. I have no problem being real with people, again, about what the...
shooting somebody in the line of duty,
outside of the PD.
It depends on context, obviously. But there are certain instances
she probably gets more scrutiny from me than
where
people, because I hold those closest to me at a higher standard.
Like,
not to say
I just
hold everyone else at a higher
this
standard,
whole retraining mentality.
I recently sent her off duty because of how she was talking to me and someone else. I did not like that, and I made sure that
that's not how that
she was
works.
not allowed to come back on duty.
Like I said, if somebody does something that they know is fucking wrong, and it's inexcusable, you fire them.
Or it was antagonistic.
You fire them, plain and simple, because then they will realize, oh damn, I can't get away with doing shit like that. I will never do it again. Then you allow them to come back
punishment
and
is
work their
absolutely
way
necessary,
back
but the
up through the
punishment needs to
ranks
fit,
because
what
they've
the action
lost
was.
everything
And
that they've
oftentimes,
worked
if
through,
something like a conversation and
you
training
know,
can happen and it
or
did not
worked
have to do with
for,
their ability to
they
be in a
lost
position, then they
something
don't need to
that
be
meant
demoted. But
something
if it has
to
to do with
them.
conduct or something like
And
that,
if they get
they are of a
demotivated and
certain
don't want to
rank
play
and the
cop
public knows
anymore,
that,
okay, well then maybe they didn't want it
demotion
that bad.
or possibly even a firing,
So,
depending on how egregious it was, absolutely needs to happen. And I have no problem doing that. I've done that in the past before, and I have no problem doing that going forward.
Alright, well, that's all the questions I had. Good luck to the both of you.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our last questions are going to be from Chief Deputy Dominic Giretti. Thank you.
Come on, Big T.
Hey!
Deputy Chief.
Big T!
Okay. I got a bunch of questions here. I'm just gonna piggyback off of what Joy was saying.
Through my spicy questions.
And you what the difference is between being the highest ranking on duty right now versus being the chief of police, and why can't you do any of those things you guys are talking about right now in your positions in command?
Oh, I do most of these things. Obviously, unfortunately, I do have somebody who's actively, or multiple people actively, who are above me, and I don't want to, undermine their position if it's something that they need to take care of, but I also can't overstep without possibly looking at repercussions myself. I think something that's commonly, a misconception is that the chief of police is supposed to be doing everything. No, the chief of police is there sort of as a political figure, but also to steer the ship, and part of steering the ship is putting people in place that you are going to be holding accountable, but they are also going to be holding other people below them accountable. On patrol, the chief of police, in my opinion, is just another officer doing their job. People should be bringing things forward to the field supervisors, and then if it's that necessary that it needs to be brought up because it was about a field supervisor or some level of supervisor, then it goes to command, and we have a chain of command for a reason. But as far as setting things like fixing a culture, which was desperately needed to be fixed for a long time because we're in the position we're in, or camaraderie and having each other's backs and being supportive and just doing, I have been doing my absolute best to just do and constantly do. I have been tirelessly working at it. I stepped away from CID just to do that because, again, I repeat, the PD is nothing without a solid foundation, and that solid foundation is just basic patrol, uniformed officers, and we were at a point where we weren't really having that, and to an extent we are still struggling, and I want to be there to support everyone. It doesn't matter what my rank is, and I will continue to do so going forward, whether I win chief of police or not.
I'm gonna be honest, my answer is pretty much the same. Exactly what I have been doing. There is still a limit to my authority. I might be the lieutenant and somewhat the acting command, the four of us that we can do, but I'm also going to respect my other lieutenant's opinions when it comes to things. Two, I'm also going to delegate, as I already have been.
Didn't she say she just made choices
Things
and
like
didn't
talking with
care?
officers, authority, dealing with things. It's not just me. I have already done things like push for departments. I've pushed for promotions. I've done promotions. I've helped departments flourish. I've helped set up whatever they need. I've helped set up the entire call sign system to make better transparency. I did that. I've done a lot of things because people came to me and said, we need someone to just do. So I went ahead and did. Did I get bite back for some of that stuff from my high command for going and doing? Yes, I did. But am I proud that I did it anyway because it bettered the LSPD and it was the exact right thing that we needed? Absolutely. I'm going to continue talking with my officers no matter where I am. I'm going to continue building. I'm going to continue promoting. I'm going to continue demoting and talking with people and do whatever I need to do. It's just going to be in a better position because being the chief inherently means that you have a lot more freedom to do those things. And you also can then move people. The biggest thing that we've had in the SPD is movement has been a massive complaint. And without someone up in the chief position, that can't happen.
When I said my question,
we need to move people and have that progression that the LSPD has been stuck behind for 4 months.
Oh yeah.
That's great. I do have another question as a follow-up to that.
That's great.
From lieutenant to chief or sergeant to chief leaves a ton of voids. aware and prepared for the immense managerial problems regarding the rank blow. The right idea to have your whole cabinet picked before becoming chief? Why would anyone decide to vote for you if they're not inside that little bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Ty, why would anybody want to vote for you if you don't seem as very prepared?
No, I'm absolutely prepared. I just feel that it's fair within the department to have interviews for that. There's going to be criteria met, so it's not going to be all 30 or 40 or 50 officers coming in for interviews. There's going to be criteria to meet to actually come in to interview for that position. And I feel that's not just fair and just for the department, because I don't feel like it's my decision. I mean, it is my decision, but I feel like the people, if they are voting me in, are trusting that I will put someone in that position who is going to fulfill that position and do what is responsible in that position. I don't consider myself unprepared. I'm consider myself for the people, and I'm going to give people the opportunity. And I also see it as an opportunity to get feedback and input and ideas from these people, because a lot of these people are people who have been unheard. We had, I don't want to name names, but we've had an officer who was an officer for 5 months, and I brought it up, and I was told that because they were not a part of my precinct that I should not have done it, and I no longer see them. It's a little recognition like that. Did they need that rank? No, but the rank of a senior is like a trophy or reward, or saying like, hey, you've been killing it. We know you're competent. You're tenured. Here you go. It is just a nice accomplishment. And I feel like that rank is necessary for somebody who's been around for so long with little to no problems at all. And so people like that slip through the cracks. And again, I'm not saying that somebody who's an officer is going to be able to come in and necessarily an interview, but those people might have great ideas and might have the experience that's necessary. And so for me to only pick those around me who, you know, might have shown that they've stepped up a bit or whatnot, or they might be a friend of mine, whichever it is, I don't think that's fair at all.
Thank you.
I want my, my top already picked, like I said. I want to be able to hit the ground running. I know for a fact that both Lana and Jeff can do an amazing job. Jeff was another person that was extremely voted for when we had the nominations for chief. He's someone that the people in the LSPD, or no, just the LSPD, in the PD want in general as part of the leadership. He's a
I don't really hear anything bad about Jeff. I don't know about enough about him. I haven't heard great things about Lana.
And know their officers. Have been dealing with their
she kind of acts like a bully, from what I've heard.
Know exactly what the problem is, areas are, and they know exactly how to deal with it.
The question that I asked instead of that, I never. That's not my question. My question was, are you prepared for the rank bloat when you start removing all these people and placing them in the positions? Going from lieutenant to chief leaves a lieutenant spot. You're talking about captains. You're also talking about an assistant chief, a deputy chief. Do you understand how much rank bloat that is? Are you prepared and understand what that means when you become in that position?
And then you also asked about the my top position as well, and what people.
I was just asking if you thought it was okay to pick them.
To then go there. So yeah, I'm already prepared. I already have ideas of who I want for captains. Within that inherently will then come movement for lieutenant. I think it also, people don't feel that they can move anywhere right now. So the effort that they're going to put in and the motivation there isn't there for them. There 100% needs to be opportunity for them to know that movement is possible and that we're ready to be there for them, because they felt let down by their command about movement not happening. This is direct conversations that I've had with people. And so I know for a fact that even doing this will bring a whole new form of energy to the police department. And I'm ready, and I know my
she's
team
talking
is ready
in circles,
to manage that.
and she's
We are all
repeating
people who have
herself a
managed
lot.
large departments. I've managed the entirety
So
of
she's
the
essentially
as well as the
giving
certification with
non-answers.
bringing people in and moving people in there and delegating. Jeff has also dealt with the entirety of motor and revitalizing that.
The thing is like,
certifications that are out there. Lana is an amazing energy as well, and I know that she
keeps talking about she's focusing on certain things, and she's not hearing the entire question.
Right people. Yeah.
None of that had anything to do with rank bloat.
I got a follow-up question. I got two more. First question is, I'm hearing a lot about Davis, Vinewood, and a lot less about the LSPD as a whole. How can we be confident this won't turn into whoever's precinct wins becomes the main one? And what about the whole of the LSPD? There was a lot of talk about culture and issues with that. When are you sure you figured out your culture?
I hate the fact that there are so many precincts. I'm not even gonna lie.
Can you describe them?
I
and how can you
feel
make a culture
like,
for the whole of the LSPD. Additionally, has been
and I
the most
think I have
dedicated
said this.
most of her effort to the DPPD. How can we trust that those actions won't continue and aim?
I think I've
she
said this
becomes
in
the,
character as well to
or
Sean.
whatever you're
It's like
calling
having so many different precincts. It's impossible to have accurate oversight.
Absolutely.
First of all, of so many different.
I felt that because of the fact that where we were for the longest time, and this was actually a conversation.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, he's right.
We had a conversation with Pon about this. Vinewood PD was like unofficially official or officially unofficial.
See, the thing is though, is that Grapeseed is like its own thing.
There was a necessary for
when you have so many different precincts, again, the hardest part is oversight, and that's why so many people go unchecked, because you have too many different chains of command. They need to be narrowed down. There are way too many.
Department of Public Safety. We are part of
maybe two. Split it. The east side and the west side. You know, like have it be like that. There doesn't need to be 4 or 5. There's what? There's MRPD. There's Davis PD, there's Vinewood PD, there's Del Perro PD, there's Vespucci PD. Well, I think Vespucci PD is defunct though, because the building was giving everybody fucking headaches and making them crash. So it got blown the fuck up. So, I mean, I can understand there being 2 precincts, maybe 3.
To the whole Department of Public Safety. A big issue
but the fact that there are like 8 precincts total, I think.
Us, or we. And I don't like that culture, and I want to get rid of that culture.
Because
it's just a fucking call sign.
I mean, we've already seen what happens. For those of y'all that watch No Pixel, like the divisiveness of the North and the South currently is fucking ridiculous, and it's causing way more problems than it's solving.
Like, people need to understand that is their identity, that is who they are, and it's something.
There's Grapeseed, there's Polito, there's Davis, there's Del Perro, Vinewood.
I've gone to her and said, "How did you do it? Like, how can I learn from this?" And I've had conversations with her to better kind of manage myself, because when unfortunately, you know, people either stepped away for personal things or whatever else happened.
Oh my god, y'all, I washed my hair today and I forgot to condition it, and it is just dried into this fro. My hair is so frizzy, it's not even funny. Yeah. Like, I understand, like, each different precinct has its own, like, little culture, which is fun. It is. But that's why you also have the issues with PD oversight, like with oversight. That's why you have so many of these loose cannons doing whatever the fuck they want. So
want to be down the south side and doing that kind of policing, because that's exactly where their experience and their personality, they should be. They want to be in Vinewood and being part of the community up there. If they want to be part of Del Perro and Pump and whatever else, then they should be around people who are like them, because it only makes them a better officer to feel included.
I hate that fucking word. Please stop. Just people just stop using the word pump.
And have its own space.
Oh, hate it.
Great. Didn't even know Central existed. That's news to me. I guess I gotta figure that out in my last few days. Anyway, I got one more question. So this whole chief of police thing. If the LSPD is so garbage that you needed to have a push for a chief of police election, why should we vote the people who are exclusively in charge of it making it garbage? Also, regarding the issues with gatekeeping, specifically with the motor unit and the issues with how it was run, why would we put someone in charge of that who failed in that regard too, regarding Jeff Jefferson?
Well, Jeff took. I don't even believe he was in
the
charge
galactic tea, yo.
But he stepped up and he sorted out the issues either way. He took the feedback.
Well, here's the thing: is that when you put your time, I mean, because clearly Mantis has put in a lot of work behind the scenes.
People can literally go in there, and I see Motor out every single day. I see multiple Motor out every single day, doing phenomenally training, and that's exactly who I want. and exactly someone who should be brought in, someone who can recognize
Damn.
the faults and fix it, which is exactly what we need to do with
And I
LSPD.
can't sit here and
isn't
speak
copied,
like
but
on
there
that.
issues that need to be
All I can
addressed,
say
but there are
is
also some
that
positive things that really need to be focused on. And I applaud every single person who has.
I'm just
been
gonna
keeping the LSPD afloat and
reiterate what
pushing
I
and being
said
part of,
earlier.
the
Like,
department. And I'm very proud of the work that
people
they have
have,
done
there
in
has
the
to
limited
be a
space that they could,
presence
because,
on the
there wasn't
server
a high command who was necessary
in
as active as they
command
should have been,
that is
to
in
be
the
there for
know
them.
and is aware of the goings on of the day
Well,
to
we already
day
asked that question about why you guys can't
to be
do it, but
effective.
The second part of it is you didn't answer my question about why we would put somebody in charge who has been talking about how they are in charge, and also about
Damn.
how terrible it is in the first place. Why would we want to put somebody in who's doing that?
I mean, he's not wrong. The fact that he didn't even know Central existed, that's kind of
but
crazy.
inherently
That
you
just,
also
he's
have
a
to
little out of
understand
touch.
You gotta understand the bad that happens to fix it. You can't look at like a problem. You gotta look at a problem and say, okay, where is the areas that are wrong? Where are the areas that are good? The areas that are good, let's bolster those. That's gonna have an amazing energy. And the areas that are wrong, what can we do to fix those? And that's exactly what we have been doing, and we will continue to do. Regardless, I think if either of us are in the chief position, we're gonna still have the LSPD's best interest at heart, and we're going to continue to do what we have to. But being elevated to a chief position will just allow that to be done at such more of a speedy rate. I mean, like I said, the LSPD has been something that's been around for 10, 11 months. The movement and the reactivity that will be able to happen now that hasn't happened will be absolutely phenomenal now. The chief who is around it,
So
and
the
staff who is around
three
will be in place.
precincts versus the two LSSD, the movement's terrible, right? So apparently there's nothing going on there. You guys have been completely stalling. Now that you have 3 separate precincts, plus you're talking about a central. This is a 4th one. That's amazing.
Yeah, and
What
who
kind
set
of
those
stalling is
precincts
there?
up?
What's your point?
Me and Ty, the people who set up those precincts.
Right, but you just said that
we have been doing movement.
But you said there's been no movement. But now
Because
you're
it's
saying
been
there
on
is a ton of
us,
movement.
Because the chief and the deputy chief haven't been doing the movement, so we had to do it.
I mean, I don't blame him. I don't like all the
So you did
departments
your
either.
jobs. Okay, got it. That's all the questions I have, but I think Ty needs to respond to this.
I was just waiting. Listen, I just continued to do. I did everything I could do within my responsibility. I don't think. I think that I was part of one of the leaders of the
I
LSPD,
misunderstood
but
then.
I do have a check and balance, and those are the people above me. I've continued to do the best I could and be there for my officers. I definitely have seen problems that are out of my hands that I can't fix, but if I've been able to have a conversation with somebody, I have. I've came to you. I've came to Pond multiple times. I've came to other lieutenants. I've spoken to Hopkins the few times I've seen him. I've even gone to people outside of the department just to see if there was any help I could get. If these were things that were outside of my hands as a sergeant that I could not do or a lieutenant could not do. I believe that I've absolutely stepped up when necessary. But to even further answer your question, I believe that if people think this way, then why not vote for me? I want to bring new people in. I want to give new people the opportunity to step up that we haven't seen. That doesn't mean that every single person or a lot of people who in the position they're in are going to be removed.
The problem is that you do want to be careful of rank bloat, but at the same time, like I was saying earlier, because this is a 24/7 thing, this is a living and breathing simulation of a city, that yes, you want to have overlap. So yes, there will be what looks like on paper rank bloat, but on a day-to-day basis, you need to have
fix this in a few months when you burn it to the ground.
Hey, thank you. Deputy
you
Chief,
need to
comments
have
for
people
the
who
LSPD.
can alternate
We're
and
gonna
work
wrap up
with
the
one
questions
another
today. We'll pass
to
off the mic to Sean. Just a friendly reminder. Thank you all for
pick
coming.
up the slack.
Quimbley, can you please
That
stop
was pretty
laughing? Thank you.
fucking
Thank you
hilarious.
guys all for coming. But I would encourage all of you please to vote, whether you vote for Lieutenant Lily Pond or you vote for Sergeant Ty Slaughter. I would please
That was pretty
heavily
funny.
encourage you to vote.
Yeah, because
Sean,
not
take it
everybody
over.
can be full-time. But then you have those people who are
All
in
right.
that
Thank you
position
so
that
much,
can
candidate.
pick up the slack. So that way nobody gets burned out, you know, like
Can you
I
hear
was
me
talking
now?
about, there's not that
There
burden.
was so much
So
candidates for staying here for, oh my god, 3 hours. I did not expect it to be this long, and I'm so sorry that there wasn't a break. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways.
Oh yeah, he did.
The election obviously is
because that's what I think a lot
open
of
until,
people
again, Friday, October
they look
3rd.
at they look at the
4th,
ranks
sorry.
on paper
The polls
and they're like, Jesus Christ, y'all have so many
You have a
fucking
couple different
sergeants,
locations
you
that
have
you can
so
go
many
vote.
fucking
Like I said in the
seniors.
beginning, you could go vote at
It's
City
like,
Hall,
okay,
Toledo
well,
City
you know,
Hall,
not
Gracie
these people
Sheriff's
aren't
Department,
here
and
every
Sandy
single day
Medical.
all day.
Also,
You know,
something to
it's
bring
like,
up,
yes,
and I
there are a lot, but
forgot to
if you
do it
look at the grand
completely,
scheme of
at the
things,
beginning
like,
is,
you know,
mayor
this person
applications will
is
be opening
here
up
on this
tomorrow
day
in
and
the
this day, you know,
MDW. If
for
you're
like
interested
this
in
many
running for mayor,
hours, but then
go to
this
the
person comes
MDW
in of
tomorrow
the
at some
same
point when you
rank
see the state
and they
announcement,
cover
and you will
from
be
blah,
able
blah, blah,
to
blah, blah,
see
you know, and it's
how
like
and where to submit your
there might
application
be some
for
overlap
mayor.
some
so much
days
for
more
coming
than
out
others,
and
but at the
have
same time,
great
you're
invites.
always ensuring that there's somebody of that rank on duty to make sure that the chain of command remains intact.
Go vote, 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 vote. Your
I don't know
So
what's going on. Someone carry me. I gotta.
on paper, yes, it looks like bloat, but at the same time, you're also making sure that there's not burnout either. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was here for that.
Good stuff, Sean.
I think you're the only one that really caught a stray.
So
Yeah, what'd you do to him?
all right, well.
Questions, because this would have gone on for 4 hours if I did.
called him.
Yeah, well, you should
That
have
was
been here when
trauma
I
enough.
told you.
That was trauma enough. Quimbley going crazy mode. Yeah, you had Taretti going crazy mode. Jai going crazy mode.
Honestly,
that was
Quimbley
good.
and Quimbley and
team.
Toretti did a good job forcing them out of the accountability rambling.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
You're
But I feel
sooner.
like I
Gerald.
heard. I feel like I heard. I'm already doing that like 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that?
What's what?
With the sniper.
We had a sniper in the hills the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 3 hours straight.
Oh.
Oh, that poor person.
Oh,
I'm gonna head out
Damn.
in a bit, yeah.
That's fine police work right there. Oh.
That is
Oh,
fine
yeah.
police work.
Bye.
Stay safe.
We were so safe.
I like the black gloves.
I can't
Toretti,
love
what
you.
a crazy cameo from Toretti.
Yeah, I wasn't
had
expecting that.
no
That was
idea
wild.
he was coming. No idea.
Okay, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
the longest time he's ever been around consecutively.
I'm just glad he didn't have a
I'm
heart
just
attack.
sad he didn't show up when Pond was saying he's never around.
Yeah, I know.
He was not here for the shots at his own face.
It's like somebody said, Toretti from the skies, and oh hey, look at that.
Yeah, I have no idea where he came from.
That's crazy.
His ears were burning.
Yeah.
Sean, carry Ty. I'm gonna start cleaning up this area.
How the fuck do I have to clean?
I can help.
I'm his Taraki security
I'll
guard.
get the other side.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh no.
no.
He's not supposed to bend that way.
No, he's not.
I didn't hear a pop though, so I think we're good.
Maybe he's really well. Yeah, I know he is. He's flexible.
That's better.
Here we go.
Wow. Is this your job now to just walk around with them like this?
Yep. I'm part of the Royal
That was-
Kennedy cabinet picking up found about chairs.
That was definitely interesting. 100%.
Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Bearded's eating.
Delegated
So
you're
you'll
above
pick,
this.
you'll pick up the chairs, but you won't sit in one, Sean.
Hey,
No,
Sean,
because your
why don't
chairs
you pick
suck.
up the
Does anyone
flag?
see this big old puddle of blood?
Oh, you want me to pick up the
No.
flag, Harold?
No.
Good. Oh, shit.
Yeah, of course.
Let me pick it up. Let me pick it up.
Yeah, no,
It's mine.
What
The
flag
sniper
is
nest
that?
was in a thorn bush.
Pick up the flag, Chad.
And I was like, I 100%
Go, you got the
Where are you going?
I don't know yet.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
What'd you think of that? Yeah, you did.
Shit show.
The
Boy.
absent father
the absent father decided to show his fucking face.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Disrespect.
I already decided who I'm gonna vote for, so I just.
Oh yeah, I've already voted.
Channel 1.
Fuck you,
Oh,
Toretti.
Wow.
Doesn't know me, so he can't fire me if he doesn't know my name.
No, he doesn't know me either.
Go.
Who is
You
this?
should probably go. Go. It's a 78. Go.
Guys, we have a 78. Officer kidnapped. 78.
There's a 78, Captain.
And she's just standing there? Hello?
Marabunta's kidnapped. I know you will fuck up your car because somebody you cannot drive.
Who is this?
Yeah, go. Be safe, please.
Okay, that's not okay. Everybody here's going. Why should I?
Because there's like 7 of them. Go do your job.
Sean,
Ay, Dios mío. Holy shit. What the fuck? Ain't no way I just heard a cop say that. That's wild. Who was that? Holy shit, the laziness. That was crazy. Bro, what was that? A 78's for a kidnapped officer, and she's like, everybody else is going, why do I have to? That was fucking crazy. Bro. Who the hell? Who was that? She sucks.
Bye, Etta.
Bye. You did great setting it up, Sloan. Sloan needs credit because she's been setting up the rally. She's setting up the coffee thing tomorrow. She's been like pushing all of this for, she's been like his biggest supporter. She's been great. Doing amazing. Sloan is fantastic. Even though she crazy as hell and she wild all the time. She's great. She's great. I'm on the wrong side of the street. Lol. I need to pay attention. That's what I need to do. So yeah. That was interesting, chat. That was very interesting. Scarlet bailed on us midway through. Where am I going? Do I want to do DMV right now? My god, it's so late. That really did take 3 hours. Holy shit. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. I know. Sadly, Prime has to get up early in the morning, so he had to dip, but that's okay. Let's go do crime. I don't know about that. See, okay. So Etta has nobody to do crime with. Unfortunately. She can't do with OMC because she doesn't like the way that they treat cops. Yes, they hate cops for a reason, but they're lumping them all together because of the actions of a few. Oh, there goes Jeb. And they also will gun cops down, and Edda's not okay with that. So the OMC is out. She can't do crime with Rod and Wade because A, she doesn't trust Rod. She hasn't trusted Rod in a very, very long time. And especially now that he threw that temper tantrum over the cocaine, like, I'm sorry that you're an irresponsible adult, that you just leave your drugs with random people and then expect them to, you know, fucking commit, you know, drug offenses for you. I don't know you like that. I don't trust you like that. So why the fuck would I put myself at risk for you? Because he certainly wouldn't fucking do it for me, right? So, but yeah, no. Etta tolerates Rod. And because I like the banter with Beetle, but Etta does not like Rod. Nor does she trust him at all. Hello. Welcome, welcome. And Wade is too violent. Well, Rod and Wade both are too violent. She can't trust that they will respect her wishes to not hurt cops when she's with them. And that's wild considering that fucking Hydra would. Hydra did, but, you know, Wade and Rod won't. Because, like, whenever she would boost with, you know, Ace and Arnie and, you know, Bogo, even Keo, and Keo was one of the most hot-headed of them, you know, they would refrain because I was there. Keo even legit told me that he didn't shoot Kylie once. He was gonna shoot Kylie. I think it was Kylie Stokes. But he didn't. He was like, "You better be glad you're in the car, Etta, or I would have smoked this bitch already." Oh my god, who's working? It's Jordan. Okay. Well then. All right.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Been busy?
Oh, I'm great. Yeah, I just dealt with 300,000 fucking people. Not
All right.
like.
Oh, cool. That's all done. I
Yeah,
greatly
you're
appreciate
Gucci.
it. You have
Yeah,
a
no
lovely
problem.
day.
Yeah, you too, man.
That was me yesterday. I was here for like 5.5 hours and it was nonstop.
Next. Yeah, it's just, you know, people keep coming into the city. They need a license. They need to renew their license. They CDL. What can I help you with, sir? I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
Howdy, sir.
Howdy.
Yeah, I need a driver's license. My Louisiana one didn't transfer, and I also I need a gun license too.
Okay.
And I need a deputy license as well.
A deputy license.
Yes, sir.
For what?
Fuck is that?
That also did not transfer from Louisiana.
Oh, so we can't transfer that? You will need to go and apply for PD. And I'm pretty sure that they have an application fee, so be prepared for that.
Mama said
$2,500.
Mama said I was a deputy, and
Mama also said knock you out.
True.
Sir, please do not accost me.
I will not accost you.
Yeah, you can't get deputized just because you ask for it here. That's not how that works.
I never asked to be a deputy. Mama just made me a deputy.
Okay, well your mama ain't here, so.
I just want to make Mama proud.
All right. Then you can make Mama proud by paying $2,500, applying to be a deputy, and then going through the process of academy and all that shit.
$2,500.
Yes, $2,500, non-refundable.
To whomst?
You can actually file for bankruptcy. And you can also make an application on the laptop behind you. You go to applications, and then you want to go to, what is it? I don't know. Actually, I don't know if they're still hiring. They might be, but it's for the AU shift.
So are you telling me I gotta fill out a thingy on the computer to be a deputy?
Yeah.
What? What kind of? I know the city kind of different, but do the computers also police? What?
Yeah, we have
why
a
do I
couple
have to
AI
apply
police.
through a computer?
Well, I mean, okay, listen. What you should go down to
yeah.
There's MRPD, right? There's DPPD. There's
what did you just say to me,
BCSO.
sir?
DPPD. It's a department. It's not what you think. All right.
Del Perro Police Department.
Oh, thank
Except
you, man.
for
Thank you.
No, it's
There's also
exactly
Davis
what you think.
PD.
It's exactly what you think.
Sir, what
Oh,
were you
Jesus.
thinking?
What? What do you mean?
When you
Not
said
in
it's
this
not what I
house.
think, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking when I said DPPD?
I can help the next in line over here at this desk.
I definitely wasn't listening.
Well, I mean, if you want to
happening?
continue listening, then
no,
yeah.
no, I'm perfectly good.
Welcome to the DMV. How can I
Oh,
help you?
Do you see?
Huh?
Is that guy staring at us
What guy?
right out the window? Kind of just staring.
Oh.
Like,
I guess so.
Do you get a lot of homeless people out here?
Yeah, maybe. A little bit. They kind of hang around and, yeah. Hello? Hi. Oh, okay. There. Yeah, he's looking. Okay, well, that's all right. Fantastic. Okay, well,
Do you think he's gonna come inside? I kind of hope he doesn't.
probably. It's okay though.
Do you have like a no loitering law?
I'm not real sure. I don't think so, actually. Unfortunately. Let's see.
Into the street, I think.
Well,
I think you'll be
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, natural selection. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. I need my license renewed. Actually, that's what
You need it renewed. Okay. What's your state ID? Hell yeah, the easy one.
I think it's 10688.
Skylar Foster.
Yes.
All right, not a problem. No job. Oh my god.
Also, how much does it cost to renew a license?
Renewals are $200.
Okay.
All right, and there is your request. All right, there you go. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
My phone.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank
You're
you.
very
That's
welcome.
good.
Yeah, if you have the old one,
Yeah.
I can take that from you and throw it in the
Sure.
trash.
I have 3 old ones actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take them all.
They kind of I was gonna throw them away, but I guess I'll give them to you.
Yeah, we have a paper
Yeah,
shredder,
I've had a habit of just coming around and for a day or two and then leaving.
Gotcha.
So
All right,
I've
got 'em.
accumulated those.
All right. Well, I hope you
I
enjoy
originally
your
thought
day.
that renewing my license might have been a waste of money, but I was told that I should get it, so I decided that I might as well.
Yeah, you
not get in
definitely don't want to
trouble.
be caught with one that's expired. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I hope you
thank
have a good one.
You too. Thank you for the help.
Stay safe.
Mhm.
Oh, this man's still talking about his mama.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. She raised
A lot of people in our area refer to her as Big Mama, but to me, she just Mama.
There's Cole. Lol.
All right. So, do you know
All right.
the speed limit in the city?
Yes, sir. It's 55 mile an hour.
All right.
I'm sorry. Wait. Let me think about that.
Yeah, think about
50
it.
mile an hour. It's 50 mile an hour.
If you get one more wrong, you're gonna get a cup.
Kobe. Oh.
A cup? So?
No, I'm just kidding. All right. What's the speed limit in the county?
I keep hitting the wrong thing.
55 mile an hour.
Switching between No Pixel and ONX fucks me up all the time.
Perfect. All right. How many points?
Who dis?
Before it becomes suspended?
Nice throw.
Yeah, the chandelier keeps getting in my way.
I think it's 25. So.
All right. Listen, man. You come up here telling me you're a deputy. You don't even
There
know
we
the
go.
speed limits in the city. You don't know how many points. Go, please. Go and read up.
Sir.
No.
In Louisiana, the speed limits is different.
Well, this is not fucking Louisiana. You're not Louisiana anymore, pal. You're in the big city.
Yeah, I know that. That's why. Oh.
Okay, well, if you know that so well, then maybe you should know the
I'm
fucking
in
speed
here
limits.
asking for my gun license and my driving license.
I know you want your gun license.
And my deputy license.
All right, you might get all those, okay? But you need to do a little bit of research on the tablet over there. What you need to go to the legislation and then the motor vehicle code section 1 and 2. Read up about the speed limits. Read up
How many codes is there?
12.
12?
Yeah, you just have to read 1 and 2, and then you're fucking good.
Okay,
But given how many licenses you want, you should probably read up on the others while you're in there instead of wasting our time.
What others?
Everything pertaining to weapons. There is no deputy license. We've already told you what to do with that.
You said others.
You want a weapons license too, right? There are weapons laws. You need to read up on those.
Are there multiple gun-in license?
No, just one. Just one gun license.
So that's only one extra license. My math ain't too good, but
As long with
I don't
your
think that's other licenses, plural, ma'am.
your driver's license.
Yeah, but in addition
Your
to the
weapons
driver's
license.
There's only one, right? Am I
And then you're asking for this non-existence deputy's license. So now stop wasting our time and go read the legislation.
Get a deputy license with the way you worded your statement to me.
You're
I'm just
gonna
trying
piss
to
her
clarify.
off and she's gonna trespass you, sir, and I'm not gonna blame her.
You can come back and do this another day if you really, really want to test me. But I would suggest you step back, go to the table, open up the MDW on the tablet, and read the legislations.
I'm not trying to offend you.
Please and thank you. The tablet.
Okay.
Listen, yeah.
Is that like the Alka?
No,
I don't see any Alka-Seltzer. I don't even think that was English, sir.
Next.
God. Motherfuckers, they just want to hear themselves speak. And it's like...
It does you.
Oh.
Fucking bozo.
Okay. What can I help you with, fella?
I need a renewal of my driver's license and
Tell me they Creole.
I believe a fine afterwards.
Oh, jeez. All right, what's your name?
Freddy Chaos.
Freddy Chaos. I like that last name.
Thank you.
Where have I helped him before? I remember his name.
Sounds like you need a little bit of.
Is there any D&V managers around as well?
I don't think so at the moment.
I can help the next in line over here at this desk.
Would that be me?
Can I get your state ID? 144.
Welcome to the DMV. How are you?
Hold on, I need to take a breather because whatever happened in that line earlier, it took it out of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, you should have sent him to the back of the line way earlier.
Well, I didn't want to overstep on Jordan, but he likes to hear himself talk, it sounds like. So,
You know, I come from a time, I come from a different breed, right? It was, you didn't even say hello right, you were sent to the back of the line. That's where I came from.
well, I'm new at this, so I'm learning, but
These kids don't know, they don't know a real struggle.
One thing I definitely don't like is when people speak over me. That's when I get angry. But
okay, that's just rude.
Yeah.
That's not even a rule. That's just what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. What can I get for you today?
I'm getting ahead of the curve. My driver's license expires in 3 days, and I'm gonna take care of it right now.
Okay, and what is your state ID?
1557.
Eli Fox. Okay. Alrighty. All right, there you go.
Ooh, perfect. Oh, look at that picture.
There you go. All right, easy does it.
Can I give you the old one to dispose of?
You most certainly can. Yeah.
Perfect. Get rid of whatever that is.
All right, can do.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome, Eli. You have a good one.
You as well.
Boom.
Appreciate it. I can wait here.
Huh?
I can just
be safe.
Live
with the next guy.
Yeah, of course.
All right, next.
Hello, sir.
Get your things done.
Yeah.
I can help the next person in line at the desk back here.
I am interested in getting my driver's license, gun license.
Welcome to the DMV. How can I help you?
Just got a couple fines I need to pay.
Okay, what's your state ID, dear?
8349. Quick question as well. Do you know who comes up with the fine pricing? Like the fine amount for like a crime kind of thing?
That I believe is up to the DOJ. They're the
Right.
ones that come up with that. So,
Because an illegal U-turn, not an illegal U-turn, an illegal overpass is $100, right? And I got fucking window tint, which is $200. Riddle me that one.
sounds like somebody feels very passionately about window tint.
Yeah, it fucking does, doesn't it? Do you know anyone that's ever got window tint? A fucking window tint ticket?
Yeah.
I have fucking two of them now.
So, my dads are cops. They're retired now. They live in England,
Right,
but
right.
one of my dads was notorious for pulling people over, especially for window tint.
Tell him I don't like him.
Okay.
It's crazy.
It's fair. It's fair. That was a consensus. A lot of people called him a petty fuck for it. So,
Yeah.
but he loved it.
I like it. I understand it.
It was generally he very much matched energy. So if somebody came at him sideways, then that's when he would become very petty. So yeah. All right, so there's one for 150 and 300. You wanted to pay both?
Yeah, I'll pay both.
Okay, there's the first one.
There we go.
And there is the second. Fantastic. All right, all taken care of.
Appreciate you. Have a good day.
You're welcome, Sunny. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Oh. Oh, that's right. They were all hanging out. I completely forgot about Tanner. Fuck.
6, a 2, a 4, 4.
I don't know how I feel about this, honestly.
All right then, Mr. Pushover.
It's Pushova. So.
I'm sorry about that. Okay. What's the speed limit in the city?
Are you up for this, Millie? Or up for getting your license?
50 miles per hour, sir.
And the county.
Hell yeah, I don't either. But
65 miles per hour, sir.
And the highway?
80 miles per hour, sir.
How many points on your license before that shit becomes suspended?
I don't know what just came over me.
That's okay. You know, happens to all of us.
I don't know why I said 25 earlier, sir. But it's actually 15, 1-5.
That's right. All right, and if you get points on your license, it takes 21 days for those points to fall off.
Maybe I should get mine.
Is that a statement or a question, sir?
That's a statement.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, now what type of stupid shit can you do out on the road to get your fucking license?
Minor, I've
You get points on there.
Well, if you go off-roading with a vehicle that you ain't supposed to be off-roading in, or the inverse.
I'm assuming that none of them are actually in line because they're all like reviewing the MDW, but nobody's actually like standing at the line. So I'm not going to call anybody.
At the local warden, generally don't want to do that neither. But what else?
Be littering from your car, essentially.
Yeah. We only had one traffic light in the city, and it didn't work too well most of the time. But anytime it was red, Mama always told me, you can't drive through that one.
Oh, so it's always gonna say that I sped one time.
So I assume that. Yeah, you got to stop at the red one. The green one is somehow okay. I don't know what makes the green one different, but and the yellow one's a game. That one's the game light. So that's when you get to decide whether or not you're feeling whether or not you're a gambling man at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I had AirPods in at the time too, and it was awful.
What else?
It's always gonna be on there.
We used to play a game called Steal the Stop Sign. I'm guessing you can't do that neither.
No, that's like attempted murder.
Oh.
My photo was awful. I wonder if they can change that for me.
Oh.
All right, sir.
Steal the stop sign.
You got yourself a driver's license.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're gonna get a charge on your phone.
I believe my phone is fully charged. So.
Okay.
I charged it on the
Oh,
right out here.
this guy. Oh hell no, he's too. That's too much. Where did Tanner go? One of the cats was here and stole all the mice. I don't know which one it was. I think it might have been Gus. Oh shit.
Oh, it's Finley.
Oh, so you're not even in the system yet, right? Is that right? Until you.
I think they don't put them in the system until they do the whole DMV thing.
Wait, what?
She'll show up.
I do need to grab a drink though. I ran out of something to drink a while ago.
It's one of them ones that they race at the track.
Okay. I need. There we go. And then. What do we do? What do we do, chat? What do we do? I think I'm actually going to call it. I'm starting to get a headache. And now that the debates are over, I think I'm just going to chill and work here at the DMV for a while. So yeah, I'm just going to call it here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate you always. Sorry, it was kind of a very like low-key kind of stream. I wanted to watch the debates and to talk to y'all about it and everything. So, yeah, I will more than likely be going live tomorrow afternoon again. We'll see what's happening with ONX, but if not, then I may switch over to NoPixel to see what's happening there. Jason and Etta are going to have a lot more conversations, and I need to start going over the legislation and things like that and start figuring out, what we're going to do should we win. Because I don't want to assume or wait until we find out if we win or not. I want to be able to have a plan of attack to be able to hit the ground running. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Thank you again. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I will see y'all tomorrow.